will keep it himself, and he is in for the score. Oh! Intercepted.
One step away from a state championship appearance, the Parish Episcopal Panthers have an opportunity to go to a state title game for the first time since 2014. The electrifying offense, and the only thing standing in its way, the Eagles of the St. Thomas squad on the other side out of Houston. It's the TAPS Division I state semifinals, brought to you by Game On Sports. Now, it's time to see if Parish and the Panthers are the true king of the jungle.
Look at this lion. He's the king of the jungle. Huge mane out there. He's laying down under a tree in the middle of Africa. He's so big. He's so hot. He doesn't want to move. Now, the little lion comes. They start messing with him. Biting his tail, biting his ears. He doesn't do anything. The lioness, she starts messing with him, coming over, making trouble. Still, nothing. Now, the other animals, they notice this, and they start to move in. The jackals, hyenas, they're barking at him, laughing at him. They nip his toes and eat the food that's in his domain. They do this, and they get closer and closer and bolder, until one day, that lion gets up and tears the shit out of everybody, runs like the wind, eats everything in his path. Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is.
So I collapse, I'm spilling these raps long as you feel them. To the day that I drop, you'll never say that I'm not killing them. Cause when I am not, then I'ma stop pinning them. And I am not hip-hop, and I'm just not Eminem. Subliminal thoughts when I'ma stop sending them. Women are caught in webs, spin them in hawk venom. Adrenaline shots, the penicillin could not get the illin to stop. Amoxicillin's just not real enough. The criminal cop killing hip-hop, filling a minimal swap to cop. Millions of pop listeners, you're coming with me, feel it or not. You're gonna fear it like I showed you. The spirit of God lives in us. You hear it a lot, lyrics the shock. Is it a miracle or am I just product of pop? Listen up, this is my whistle, this is the plot. Listen up, you pistols for God's Lizzle does not give up me.
Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my leg give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high, I'ma rip this till my bone, till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my leg give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high, I'ma rip this till my bone.
Soon as a verse starts, I eat it at MC's heart. What is he thinking? I'm not to go against me, smart, and it's absurd how people hang on every word. I'll probably never get the props I feel I ever deserve, but I'll never be served. My spot is forever reserved. If I ever leave Earth, that would be the death of me first. Cause in my heart of hearts, I know nothing could ever be worse. That's why I'm clever when I put together every verse. My thoughts are sporadic. I act like I'm an addict. I rap like I'm addicted to smack like I'm Kim Mathers. But I don't wanna go forth and back in constant battles. The fact is I would rather sit back and bomb some rappers. So this is like a full-blown attack. I'm launching at 'em. The track is on some battle and raps who want some static. Cause I don't really think that the fact that I'm slim matters. A black and platinum status is whack if I'm not the baddest.
Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my leg give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high, I'ma rip this till my bone, till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my leg give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high, I'ma rip this till my bone, until the roof comes off, the roof comes off, until my leg from underneath me.
I will not fall. I will stand tall. Feels like no one can beat me.
from the beautiful Star in Frisco, Texas. The Parish Episcopal Panthers are one step away from a state championship appearance. But before we get into this matchup, let's pause for the playing of our national anthem.
Come back to you guys after the national anthem.
Teams ready to take the field in what is the TAPS Division I state semifinals. It's the Parish Episcopal Panthers and the St. Thomas Eagles here on Game On Sports. Kyle Yeomans alongside Jackson Donovan. And Jackson, you follow this team all year long. They're just on the cusp of something that hasn't been achieved by this program since 2014. The electrifying offense is ready to go. The Parish Panthers have a chance to make history.
Yeah, and this team feels like they're on a destiny trek right now. About every 5 years, they did in 2010, 2015. Now as they're here, coming around the 2020 season, they feel like it's their destiny to hang another flag on their stadium. Of course, Gloria A. Snyder, they know that they have got the beautiful blue turf. They want to hang another beautiful blue banner up at that stadium. But they are driven tonight. This defense, full of seniors. They don't want to see their season come to an end just yet. Of course, they know after this game they are just one step away from bringing home another ring.
And on the other side, St. Thomas and the Eagles, after an improbable run a little bit to this state semifinal. It's a team that's never won a state championship throughout their program's history. However, they did make it to a state championship game back in 2001. So it's been a long time since the Eagles have seen success program-wise to get to a state title game, and now they've got a chance to make even more history on their side. And really a big key to their success is that wide receiving core with a cast of characters.
Yeah, this team coming out of Houston has got a good squad. They went up against Bishop Lynch last week. Of course, Parish has a lot of history with Lynch coming out of their district. That was a tough matchup. They end up winning that one 21-7. That one could have gone either way, but the squad down from Houston able to put it away. A great job in that one to make it here to the state semifinals. But now going up against the number one team in the state, it is going to be a tough matchup.
It is going to be a tough matchup indeed. Parish loses the coin toss, so they'll get the ball first. This is a squad in the Panthers that likes to score early, of course, score often, as we've seen by their statistics over the course of the year, but they're going to get a chance to put points up on the board first. Going back to receive for the Panthers, Christian Benson, the 5'7", 180-pound junior. Also, Daniel Penry as well in the backfield to receive this kickoff from St. Thomas and get us underway here in our state semifinal matchup. So glad you're with us here on Game On Sports throughout the course of the next couple of hours from the beautiful Dallas Cowboys headquarters. This one takes a hop right around the 4-yard line, settles in the end zone, and that's how we'll get things underway. So our first look at this offense for Parish Episcopal and Preston Stone. Of course, he has really made a name for himself around the state of Texas, not only just the DFW area, but the junior quarterback, 6'2", 205 pounds. That rare combination of elusiveness and just an absolute cannon here, Jackson.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He figured out real young that if you can keep the same motion on the runner in the pocket, he does a good job with it, picking up 46 offers up until this point. Of course, as a sophomore, getting the touted USC look. Now Graham Harrell there on the offensive coordinator getting the call, but he is going to be dangerous in the backfield. We saw it last week. offense was held off the field for the first 6 minutes of the game. 30 seconds later, they scored.
Only one game under 200 yards for Preston Stone this season. That was the loss to All Saints back earlier in the season. First attempt going to Christian Benson in the flats, and it ends up spiking into the turf here at the Ford Center at the Star. You get another look at it. They called the ball dead. Benson thought he picked it up off the turf, but a great look on that one says that it is actually a 2-yard loss.
Good to see, though, Karin Lynch back in the backfield. Had a bum ankle in the third quarter last week, but up 33-0. They just kept his shoes off, held him out. Good to see him back in this one. That senior will be sorely missed if he gets injured.
Plenty of time for Preston Stone, rolling out to his right. However, the pressure defensively from St. Thomas forces a fumble. Luckily for the Panthers, it's out of bounds. However, a loss of 5 on the play sets up 3rd and 17 on the first drive of the afternoon.
This offensive line has gotten away with a couple of errors all season long just purely because of the sheer amount of talent that Preston Stone has in the backfield. But look to see if this team from Houston and St. Thomas can get pressure up the middle against Stone. That's going to get him out of the pocket. See if he makes a couple runs. We've seen him break off a couple long ones this season already.
5-wide set for Parish. 3-step drop for Stone. Looking deep over the middle. Nothing going there. Has to roll out to his right. Pressure coming from behind. Stone still trying to direct traffic. He's going to be brought down from behind. And the Eagles come out firing. Cooper Thomas with his 3rd sack of the season. Good protection for Parish, but that's a coverage sack, and the definition right out of the dictionary.
Yeah, great job on coverage that time by St. Thomas. We have not seen Preston Stone get sacked a lot this season, nearly 2 here in the opening drive. This is going to be interesting to see how this special teams unit goes. They didn't even have a punting package in their playbook until week 6. So now Reed Boyster back to punt it away, and it is an ugly one.
Wow. Things could not have started better for the Eagles and much worse for the Panthers. A 3-and-out, a sack on the final play of the drive, and then a punt that ends up with a net gain of about 9 yards. And the starting field position for the Eagles is from the Parish 29-yard line. This is a defense for Parish that you've seen over the last couple of seasons, and I know you and Nick Kalaupius have talked about this. Bend, don't break. And I know you hate that term, Jackson, but now there's no really room to bend.
Yeah, right now this is going to all come down to the defensive line. Some chip blocks now early, but as Blake Burris gets clean. But look for Kenneth Borders, able to get part of that tackle that time. Noah Love, the senior on the outside. Borders is the face of this defense out of the linebacker core. One of the best at sideline-to-sideline coverage. Look for him to have a big game if Parish wants to win this one.
Maddox Kopp, the junior quarterback, 6'5", 210 pounds, over 2,800 yards passing, closing in on 3,000 yards should he have a 200-yard game today. Second and 8 after the short gain on first down, having to roll out to his right. He is not a scrambling quarterback, and he's brought down from behind. Big number 99, Blake Burris, in on the stop. Not sure if that's going to be classified as a sack or not. Right at the line of scrimmage, I'm going to say no gain on that, but that is a quarterback in Kopp that only has 58 rushing yards in 59 attempts this season. He's not a guy who likes to run very often.
No, this Eagle squad is definitely pass happy, barely breaking the 1,000 yards rushing on the year. They are definitely going to look to pass first. That time, a rare opportunity to run, didn't go very far.
3-man front for Parish, stepping up in the pocket. He's pressured and brought down from behind. Parish defense comes up big, and the Panthers, Josue Munoz makes the stop.
Munoz has been hectic on the defense all season long. Earlier in the year, first 3 games of the year, averaging nearly 3 sacks a game, being an absolute monster. Though he's undersized, only at 6 foot at defensive end, he has been an absolute animal all season long.
St. Thomas on 4th down, stepping up to throw, long ball over the middle. It is knocked away. Henry Partridge comes forward and makes the snag. The intended receiver on the play was Cameron Bonner, their go-to wideout. But despite having the ball on the opponent's 29-yard line, the Eagles cannot come up with points.
This defense has been awesome all season long. We've talked about them. They forced a 31-second 4-and-out earlier in the season, that time rivaling it a very good drive as the offense will get the ball back. Actually, what looks to be almost as better yardage than what they started the drive before.
1st and 10. Another chance here for the Panthers offense. They give it right back up the middle. And you talked about it earlier. Karin Lynch, the senior, 6 foot, 200 pounds, 700 yards rushing on the season, averages over 8 yards per carry, and he was a little banged up last week, but looks good to go here. A gain of about 3 on the first play.
Yeah, it's amazing to see this kid coming out of the backfield. This Parish squad has 3 running backs that could be starting for any team in the state. Instead, they're splitting duties.
Play action right over the middle. Caleb Culp breaks free, far sideline, all the way down to the 30-yard line before he's dragged down from behind. Culp, 5'10", 185, and he explodes for a huge gain on 2nd down.
Another one of those running backs I mentioned, as they have 3, Culp, Benson, and of course they will trot out the little guy in Christian Benson and Karin Lynch, but Culp coming out in the slot that time. You'll see Benson get some action out there as well. This team is absolutely stacked on offense.
Stone looking deep, pressured again, sidearm slings it, and it's complete on the near sideline. Gabriel Walls makes the reception, taken out of bounds by Daniel Coco, but not before. Just a magician-like toss from Preston Stone. My goodness, that was fun.
Yeah, doing exactly what the coaching staff teaches you. Put it only where the receiver can get it, and yet it was a dime. Absolutely perfect at the chest of Walls. Makes a man miss, goes trotting up the sideline.
Walls, the senior. That was his 21st reception of 2019. Up over 300 yards now on the year. 3 wide set. 2 in the backfield now for Stone. Play action. Finds it complete to Green. Inside the 10. Scrambles to the outside to the 5 before he is taken down by Connecticut and also Hannah on the play. 2 linebackers combining for the tackle, but now a prime opportunity for the Panthers to put points on the board first.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a first action try and go over the top to Evan Green, then maybe get something short. But right now, this offense is an open playbook.
Sticking to that 3 wide receiver set. Lob ball, far side, over the shoulder. It's caught. Touchdown, Panthers. Christian Benson finds Paydirt, and Parish takes the lead early.
Yeah, we saw Benson go off last week out in Abilene, playing at a college stadium, plays like he's a college player among kids from high school, goes for multiple touchdowns tonight, gets the first one on the board.
6th receiving touchdown of the year for Benson. Now Boyster will line up for the extra point. This has been a little bit of a struggle lately for Parish.
Yeah, missed 3 last week out in the elements. It was amazing. Hits a 40-plus yarder and yet misses the extra point, but this one right up the middle.
No trouble at all, and it's a 7-0 advantage for Parish Episcopal. The Panthers take advantage early and lead it by a score over St. Thomas. Another look at the back shoulder fade.
Just a great job this time breaking. Had the smallest man on the field, but he is a shifty one, able to find some open turf. Scores on the Cowboys logo. You know that is going to be a bucket list thing he's going to check off.
How about that highlight reel play? Beating Joshua Chrisman to the outside. And Chrisman with world-class speed. That's just a next-level move from Christian Benson and what he's able to do to find that extra step. So here's the first kickoff of the day, and it's significant in the fact that 2 men back to return for St. Thomas. Cameron Bonner and Joshua Chrisman have each had multiple returns for touchdowns this season on special teams. Talked about the electrifying speed of that man right there, Joshua Chrisman. He has 3 touchdown returns on the season, so he should be something to look out for here on this kickoff attempt.
You do have to watch out for Paris, though. They are 3 for 5 on the season on onside attempts. However, they like to go up the middle. Looks like they're trying to prevent that a little bit, the St. Thomas squad. Reed Boyster's a sneaky one, does a good job on the onside attempts.
Boots this one high in the air. Good kick. Takes Chrisman all the way back to the 1-yard line in a reverse. Gives it off to Bonner. Bonner swarmed at the 10-yard line. He's going nowhere. The reverse read like a book, and Parish and the special teams come up for a big play as Andrew Merrick comes in for the stop.
Merrick doing a good job. You'll see him get double duty tonight, most likely. Got some action last week out of the backfield. You'll also see him rotate in at linebacker, doing a great job this season. he's one of those guys that when Coach Novikov goes to the sideline and said he needs a man, he's the first one up on the board.
Second chance on offense for St. Thomas and the Eagles, 9-3 this season. Mentioned it earlier, their only state title game appearance was back in 2001. They lost by 10, 38-28 in a loss to San Angelo Central Catholic. This is an offense that takes good care of the football. They don't really give it up a whole lot. Now, Kopp has had his fair share of interceptions on the year, but that man, John Fontenot, has not fumbled all year long. And, in fact, the entire offense for the Eagles has only fumbled twice.
Yeah, this Parish defense is going to have a real struggle trying to get turnovers in this one. They haven't exactly been known for turnovers, more of just having some incredible stops.
So Fontenot again, the second straight carry that he's had for minimal yardage. Third down coming. It's still a short third down for St. Thomas. Wouldn't be surprised to give it right back over to Fontenot. But it's a 4 wide-out set. He's still in the ball game. Originally on the left hip. He'll stay right there of Kopp in the backfield. Put him in motion. Quick drop for Kopp. Pressure coming from the outside. He's going to be sacked again. Munoz for the second time today gets in the backfield and takes down Maddox Kopp. And it brings up fourth down.
Munoz, an animal coming off that edge, did a great job. If he didn't get him, Kenneth Borders was coming unchecked off the opposite edge. You see right there, just a great job on defense as it is forced another fourth down, this one deep in their own territory for St. Thomas.
Forced to punt. Kopp takes a couple steps back. Averages just under 23 yards per kick. A good spiraling punt, and it takes an Eagles bounce. Look at this one. All the way down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And how about your quarterback coming in to make a stop and make a play on the offense or on the special teams end to boot that one all the way down to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of how you want it to be done when your quarterback's punting. We've seen Parish try to do this earlier in the year, and Preston Stone kicked it off his own lineman's shoulder pads. So that right there is just a great example of being able to do whatever your coach needs you to do that time. Special teams punting it, goes complete length of the field, and that's a pretty good for the brand moment.
No doubt about it. Somebody called Pat McAfee, let him know. Sure, he's probably in the area somewhere. Loves to hang around the Dallas area or even Texas in general. But here is Preston Stone and company, fresh off of their long touchdown drive. Last time, 70 yards to the house, capped off by a Christian Benson touchdown reception. Long throw after pressure again. Flushes Stone out of the pocket, stayed in between the hash marks, and launched it deep. Able to get it well past the line of scrimmage. Had a player in the vicinity. No chance for intentional grounding. Just a smart play there from Stone.
Yeah, a lot of pressure coming up the middle. Big man number 77, Mark Pawnell, doing a good job coming up the middle, just trying to disrupt the rhythm that Preston Stone has, doing a great job thus far early here in the first.
4 wideouts for Stone. Looking with the read option, he keeps it right up the middle, slices through the defense all the way to about the 37-yard line. Gain of about 9 on the play, and it sets up third and short for Parish Episcopal.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Stone, even though he's in the books as a number 2 dual-threat quarterback in the class of 2021, they don't give him a lot of read options or design quarterback keepers unless they're by the goal line. A lot of the time, he's just having to scramble, create space himself.
Run up the middle. Keeps it again. Once again, the read option. Flag down in the backfield. The yardage enough as Preston Stone gets to the 40-yard line before he's dragged down from behind. Nice play over the middle from Daniel Coco, the lead tackler for St. Thomas. So we await the call. Alejandro Garcia called for the hold, and it's going to back up Parish to what will be a third and 11. There you see the run from Preston Stone, second straight. Look for the read option, which is, like you said, something they don't necessarily go to a lot, but with the final 2 weeks of the season, there's a chance to expand that playbook a little bit. 5 wide out set. Stone alone in the backfield. 3-step drop, looking over the middle, has a man. It is dropped over the middle, looking to complete it. to Jai Moore. The junior went up over his defender, but nice job from Cameron McCurry. And McCurry makes the play defensively, and it brings up fourth down for the Panthers.
Yeah, a couple of issues last game. Jai Moore had 3 straight passes thrown to him out in the elements at Abilene, drops the first 2, and then, of course, picks up a beautiful 25-yard first down right up the middle that time. Very similar to that first down pickup. Unfortunately, a good job batting it down on defense, as this one will be punted away. And this one much better than the last time out. Reed Boyster getting this, flipping the field, as it's going to be fair caught. They're going to be down at the 38, and that is where St. Thomas will take over.
And now St. Thomas with maybe a little bit of a newfound rhythm and a newfound momentum as they do set up for some success offensively. Kopp has really not had a great look so far in the game. He has been held in check, at least for the moment. We'll see what they have for their third drive of the ball game. 4 wideouts, lone man in the backfield. For St. Thomas, they complete it near side. It's Joshua Chrisman, reception number 56 of the year. He's nearing in on 600 yards for the season. He's brought down by Kenneth Borders.
Borders, again, doing a good job that time, coming out of the linebacker core, going on coverage that time, and brings down the little shorty little running back coming out of the side.
Gotta love the way that Borders plays the game of football. He just flies to the ball hawk mentality all the way through. One of the reasons why he's one of the leading tacklers and leading defenders on that defensive side. They bring the wide out on the near side in. Hand it off to Fontenot up the middle. He's stacked up immediately, but bounces forward for a couple of yards. Andrew Merrick in on the stop, and that's what Fontenot does. He's not your typical break the big runs type of back. His longest scamper of the year is 32 yards. However, he's a bell cow type of workhorse in the backfield, and he always, no doubt about it, falls forward.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the matchup. You have Richards up the middle. He has been great at a run stopper. Nothing really goes up the middle, which is why they rely on the 3-3-5 defense, almost a hybrid 3-4. I see a good pitch now in the backfield.
On the option, this is the man they want to get it to. Cameron Bonner, the junior, with almost 1,300 yards on the season, brought down by Gabriel Gibbs. But they will put him in motion. They'll throw him on a sweep, and then that time you see it on just the speed option to the outside.
Yeah, I believe the coach Novikov. I bet he's going to have a pretty solid playbook thrown here against St. Thomas on defense. Back to pass now, and getting absolutely laid out that time. Good job coming on the tackle is Gabriel Grubbs.
Grubbs comes flying in. Chrisman still makes the reception. And it brings up 2nd down and 8 here for the Eagles of St. Thomas. 9-3 on the season, and what a job that Rich McGuire has done in his 3rd season with St. Thomas. We'll go a little bit more into that here in a moment. 2nd and 8. Long snap, far sideline. It's complete on a laser throw. Nobody around him. Again, it's Bonner. Borders able to get over and push him out of bounds, but Bonner finds his way free more often than not, and that time he had a couple yards to work with.
Yeah, a lot of time in the backfield. As that time able to sling it far side of the field is Kopp. There's a clean first down pickup. There's absolutely nowhere around. A little bit of a mental breakdown by the secondary.
Hand off to Fontenot. Near side. Tries to bounce back in. Shifts his direction. Falls right around the 21-yard line. Brought down again by Noah Richards, the senior defensive lineman. And it's another shifty run for John Fontenot.
It's an interesting, probably the most ground we've seen consistently given up here this season by the Panthers.
Fontenot now in the flats on the reception. Not normally a receiving back, as he gets right back to the line of scrimmage. A nice job swarming to the football, and something that's not normal for Fontenot, as Merrick once again in on the stop. They were able to adjust to it well, and they'll give him a gain of 1. Brings up 3rd and 4. Just underneath, a minute and a half to play here in the first quarter of action. Look at the 3-8 wideout set to the right. Pressure coming from behind. Kopp works out of it, throws a laser to the near side, and it's complete to Krieger. Spencer Krieger comes in before he's pushed out of bounds by Luke Bridges. And it's a first down pitch and catch. Kopp with a nice job of evading the pressure because Parish was coming quickly.
Yeah, that's typically an action we have reserved for Preston Stone, but Maddox Kopp, the junior, doing a great job trying to show that Stone is not the only great quarterback here in this matchup.
Kopp now 5 of 6 for 19 yards. Still looking for the first score of the game, down by a touchdown here in the first quarter. Play action. No, they give it to him. Fontenot breaks free up the middle, and it's a first down run inside the 10-yard line, and the drive continues for St. Thomas. Andrew Merrick comes in on the stop, but not before what'll be a first down run, and brings up first and goal for the first time today. Four wide receivers for Kopp. Eagles knocking on the door of potentially tying this game up. Rolling out, flag flies in. Kopp going nowhere. Kenneth Borders the first one in the backfield, but it was a swarm of Panthers in there. And just like that, it's a loss of about 8 on the first play inside the 10-yard line. There you see Borders, what he's able to bring to the table. Well, you await the flag and the officials on the near side.
Yeah, you're seeing it on the screen. Borders has so many of those big play stickers on his helmet, you barely see the logo of the Panther head.
As Luke Bridges called for the offside, and that is a killer. You think you have a sack, you push them back 8 yards. It would have been first and goal from the 18-yard line, and all of a sudden they've got a fresh set of downs, and they're inside the 5. Heavy package now for the Eagles. Kopp in the backfield. Fontenot to his left. They hand it off. Fontenot slices to the outside, breaks back to his left. He's not going anywhere. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage. They're going to say a loss of about 1 on the play. He did not get back in time. And there was really a cast of characters in on the play. They're going to say the tackle goes to Keegan Addison. That'll bring the first quarter to an end. 7-0. Parish leads it here in the state semifinals. And they did it on the back of a 69-yard scoring drive and a touchdown completion to Cameron Benson, his 6th touchdown reception of the year. And the Panthers lead it by a score. However, the Eagles are knocking on the door continuously as we go to the second quarter.
Yeah, this is one of the few quarters we're going to see where Parish isn't just running off the scoreboard. They've done a great job in the first half this season silencing any road fans that come into their stadium, or no matter where they're playing. They typically strike early. This one is a little bit different. They have not been allowed to have the ball very much, and strangely, 2 punts in the first quarter for the Panthers.
He's Jackson Donovan. I'm Kyle Yeomans, along with Mallory Hartley on the sideline here, bringing you coverage of Parish Episcopal's run to a state title game, hopefully for the Panthers, looking to go back to the state championship game for the first time since 2014. On the other side, St. Thomas has not been in a state title game since 2001. In order to do that, they're going to have to come up with some crucial stops. They had one already in the ball game where they were backed up into their own 29-yard line after a 9-yard punt on a 3-and-out started the ball game for the Panthers. However, the defense held strong, didn't allow points, and their backs are against the wall again here to start the second quarter. 12 minutes back up on the clock. 4 wideouts, 1 in motion. Snap goes over the top of a receiver. Kopp on his way back, tries to complete it to Fontenot, and it's off the fingertips and incomplete.
A lot of pressure coming in by Borders and Blatnick that time, just backpedaling. Finally had a man look at the screen, just a little bit out of range as that was going off the fingertips of Fontenot. Nearly, that would have been a touchdown, very easily trotting into the end zone.
Yeah, and only 1 or 2 white jerseys around him that might have been able to make a play. It brings up 3rd and goal from about the 6-yard line. Can the Panthers defense stand strong again? 3 wideouts to the left for Kopp. Looks to his right. He's going to be brought down. 3rd sack of the day for the Parish defense. This time it's Colby Blatnick coming in and taking the feet out from underneath the Eagles quarterback.
Blatnick has been a great addition to that defensive line, as he is technically in the books as a defensive lineman, though we see him more as a conventional 3-4 outside linebacker. Goes back a lot into pass coverage. That time doing a great job coming off the edge and not letting this offense for the Eagles go anywhere.
Munoz, Borders, and Blatnick all with a sack here in the first half of action. Setting up for a field goal attempt. This one is blocked. Off to the side. Parish gets a hand on it. Caleb Culp comes flying in out of nowhere, and the Panthers hold strong defensively again.
A great special teams package. We've seen them go off all season long. Last week with the punt return for a touchdown. This week, give it to the field goal unit, able to get a hand up there, and they will keep the board clean as they keep this one up, still 7-0 over the Eagles.
The kick set up by Paul Lagermeyer, and Culp came Superman flying in and got not one but two hands on it to knock it wide, and that is a momentum killer for the Eagles, who thought they had some points on the board. What would have just been a 27-yard field goal attempt ends up in a goose egg on the scoreboard.
The last thing you want to do is give Parish an opening where they have their pride marching down the field. It's interesting to see. I want to see what Coach Novikov does with this one, because right now the momentum is firmly on their sideline, even though that defense, again, we've talked about it all season long, bend, don't break. That right there, a perfect definition of that defensive game plan.
Long drive comes up with no points for the Eagles. Now Parish looking to make them pay. Completion to the far side and an easy pitching catch. A late flag flies in after the completion to Benson. Gain of about 7 on the play. We'll see what the dirty laundry is for, but just like that, we have another penalty. Saw a couple flags in the first quarter. Here in the second quarter already, we've had a pair of penalties called. So we await the call from our head official. 10:56 left on the clock here in the first half of action. A relatively low-scoring game. We're used to seeing the Panthers with the high-scoring affairs even early on, and that's a credit to both sides. And they didn't give a number on who was the guilty party for Parish, but an offensive pass interference is now going to back up the Panthers past the original line of scrimmage. Keeps it at first down for Parish. Get another look at the completion. I don't see any pass interference at any point there. Maybe you could call that on the far side for Gabriel Walls since he was past the 5 yards. Tough call from the officials, but it goes against Parish and the Panthers. 5 wide out set. Stone all by himself in the backfield. Looks to his right. Complete on the run. It's Green. Green now spins his way out of bounds past the 15-yard line, close to the 16, before he's brought down by Charlie Hanna.
Great play call that time. It was perfect timing. Quick pass out to Evan Green on the bubble, as there was a lot of pressure coming in on a slot corner blitz that time, as Stone, if he'd held on any longer, would have gotten creamed in the backfield. Good job getting it out to Green that time, as he'll go just out of bounds, but it's still going to be a long second down.
6 of 8 now passing for Preston Stone, the junior quarterback, continuing to stay efficient over the course of the ball game. Looks up, QB draw, right up the middle. He takes it himself. He spins out of a tackle, still on his feet before he's stacked up by a sea of red jerseys. Cooper Thomas was the first one in on the tackle for the Eagles, but another nice opportunity for Stone to run the football himself. He's had some success today. This one not close to the first down markers, but it makes it third and manageable.
Yeah, unfortunately, most of the pass attempts they're getting are very, very short yardage gains. So if you can get the running game going, that's going to take a lot of pressure off Stone, even if he is your primary ball carrier, as right now they open up the backfield. 5 receiver set trips to the left.
Stone looks that way. Long drop, has a receiver back shoulder, and it can't be caught. Culp was open, went to the back shoulder. Stone threw it only where his receiver could get it. That's a textbook throw, but Culp with a tough adjustment having to go backwards. Couldn't make the grab.
Yeah, that would have been one of the strangest you got Moss moments we could have seen this season. We've seen Evan Green make a couple great catches falling to the ground. That time Culp just unable to bring that one in, as it will be another punt now, unfortunately, for the Panthers.
So Boyster back to punt it away here for Parish. Low snap. He's able to get this one away. A much better kick than the first time around. Fair catch, and it's reeled in by David Coco at about the 47-yard line. So great field position here for St. Thomas. They had their last drive stalled out, then a field goal attempt blocked, and that's where they sit at the 0 points at the moment. The offense has been the story for Parish all season long. I mean, you mention it all the way through their season schedule. And you've got 57 points, 37 points, 54 against Bishop Lynch, 44 against Prestonwood Christian. But the defense has really been the story so far this afternoon.
Yeah, the defense on both sides has been absolutely outstanding, as this could be a very, very different game if this secondary for the Panthers haven't stepped up like they have here. I know we're early in the second, but the offense for the Panthers has not been what they typically are this season. They are very, very underwhelming right now.
Kopp trying to complete it near side to Bonner. Bonner had it touch the turf before he got a hand underneath it, so an incomplete pass makes it 2nd and 10. And you mentioned it, Jackson. You talk about how this could be a very, very different looking ball game should the defense have not stood twice. It could be a 2-score game. I mean, St. Thomas on one side had the ball at the opponent's 29-yard line for the first play of a drive, and then you go all the way down inside the 4-yard line with a fresh set of downs. The defense has been the story and is really the reason why Parish still leads by a score.
Yeah, it's very fortunate with some sacks coming at very key pivotal moments on all of the drives. This defense is bailing out this Panther team right now, as we hope to see them do it again right here about the midfield line. But this offense has got to get something going. 3 punts already here in the first half. That is very atypical for this team.
4 wideouts, 3rd and 5. Parish with a 4-man front. They bring the pressure on the outside. Kopp able to shoestring himself out of a tackle, but he's still being chased down. Throws off balance, incomplete to the far side, looking for Drake Martinez. Colby Blacknick bringing the pressure, and because of that, there was nowhere for the quarterback to go.
Yeah, missed him the first time, nearly got him that second time after spinning out from another block, doing a great job just staying with the play. Unfortunately, unable to chase him down, as we see Josue Munoz also in on the action. Just a great job of forcing the pressure. And you talked about a coverage sack. Another good opportunity that time for the Panthers.
And just looking at Blacknick, he was the first one in, had him by a shoelace, got back up, and kept the pressure coming. Now, 4th down, right near midfield, and a chance for Parish to get off the field with no points in great field position. Instead, it's going to be booted away. Kopp sends it high in the air, no fair catch, and it's going to be returned on the near sideline, right on that hash mark by Demery.
Yeah, Daniel Demery doing a great job. The freshman, we saw him get a punt return touchdown last week. A good job that time. Kind of scaring the coverage team that time. Maybe seeing a little UNT Arkansas action. Kind of faking getting the fair catch going, but defense doing a good job on the coverage team, having their eyes up, knowing what the call was. Unfortunately, he was able to break a tackle that first time out, gain a couple yards.
Yeah, risky with Demery there in the middle of traffic. There were a couple red jerseys right around him. Of course, you're referencing Keegan Brewer against the Arkansas Razorbacks last season. This time, a quick handoff. It's Benson up the middle, and Benson carries it for positive yardage close to the 30-yard line before Charlie Hanna comes in and makes this tackle.
Christian Benson, just one of those guys that he could be an outstanding player at any level. Unfortunately, he is a little bit undersized. We'll see how the college recruiting staffs treat him, but he has been an absolute asset for this team out of the backfield and in the slot.
A bobbled grab, and Green, they're going to say that was incomplete. I want to see another look at this replay because I thought he had reeled it in. Went to the ground, had the ball right, it seemed like in his breadbasket. Oh, I think that's a catch.
Nearly caught it with his knees.
I think that 100% stayed up off the ground. What a grab from Evan Green, but it is going to be taken away. And Parish all of a sudden at a 3rd and 4. Stone takes it himself up the middle, and the QB keeper goes for a first down inside the 40 or right to the 40 as Maddox Kopp comes in for the tackle. Actually, I take it back. That's Chidera Uma in on the tackle for the Eagles, who had been injured for a little bit of time, but making his first return back to the defensive line for St. Thomas. First set of downs for Preston Stone and the Panthers offense. In the flats, they give it to Benson again. Has some blockers out front. Shakes off the first tackle, but he's taken down immediately as Vince Lee brings Benson to the turf.
And you'll see a heavy dose of that tonight, either in the slot or just doing a quick little screen route coming out of the backfield. You will see Christian Benson just about get more receptions than he'll have carries, but a lot of all-purpose yards coming from that young man.
7 of 11 for Stone halfway through this second quarter. Misdirection, they hand it to Benson. Shakes off a tackler. Good blocking on the outside from Evan Green. There's going to be some flags flying in late. This should go against the Panthers. Cooper Thomas comes in to shove Benson out of bounds after a massive game, but I believe this is going to be coming back.
Yeah, it's a great run that time. And honestly, that setup right there is basically because you give Preston Stone some opportunities to run it himself. They've run that formation twice now, as we'll hear the call.
That's unfortunate on the outside. I thought Green had a clean look, and there you see. That's not a very happy-looking Daniel Novikov, and for good reason. Let's take a look on the misdirection. Watch number 1. He'll come in, sneaking in at the top of your screen right there. That's a borderline call.
Good to see our cameraman getting out of the way before he gets tackled on the sideline.
Jeff, as always, doing a magnificent job on that far sideline. There you see the defensive front for the Eagles, now faced with a 2nd and 2. High snap, reeled in by Stone. Quick handoff up the middle. It's Benson again. He's been the workhorse back today. Of course, we talked about how Lynch had been dealing with some minor issues over the last couple of weeks, but now Benson getting really the brute work of the carries out of the backfield, and he's done a nice job so far.
Yeah, this one an atypical run for Benson as he actually carried some guys to gain some extra yardage, picked up the first down. Good to see him pick up some yardage after a questionable holding call.
Long step back. Preston Stone wants it all, and it's off the right arm and incomplete. Looking for Caleb Culp, and Culp had a step on both of his defenders, and Stone threw him a pretty ball over his right shoulder. Let's take a look at how this one just fell to the carpet.
An absolute dime. Really wish he had gone up with 2 hands on that one to bring it in. Would have waltzed into the end zone, but unfortunately it will fall to the turf and will give us 2nd and 10.
Wouldn't be surprised to see that look again here in the coming moments.
Either that or they're very favorable to a tight end streak going downfield.
Lynch back in the backfield. He gets the carry. Modest gain of about 3 on the plays. He goes straight into the pile, and it sets up 3rd and 7 on the way here for this Panthers offense.
Strangely enough, as we're nearing the halfway mark in the second quarter, no carries by Caleb Culp thus far. Of course, we saw him unfortunately have the drop as a receiver that time. Weird to not see him in the backfield here early.
Three receivers to the right side. 3rd and 7. Need the 20 or the 34-yard to gain for the Panthers. Over the middle, low pass. And that one really was doomed from the start. Green couldn't reel it in and went about knee high. I wonder if it was tipped at the line of scrimmage or just slipped out of the hand of Stone. And with this position on the field, you might expect the Panthers to go for it here on 4th and manageable.
I would. If you're Coach Novikov, your defense has proven you can rely on them today and all season long. So why not go for it? We've seen this several times throughout the season. Once you get around the halfway mark in the field, they try and push the pressure as you get a free play now on the false start.
And it is caught with the fingertips on the free play. Parish dials it up. Gabriel Walls makes a magnificent grab, waist high, as he carries it into the end zone. The 2nd touchdown pass of the night for Preston Stone, and it's a 2-score lead for Parish.
Oh my goodness, that was a beauty. Dropping a dime over the shoulder. No way for the secondary to try and block that down as we wait and see the replay. That was absolutely gorgeous. A great pull in that time on the reception for the touchdown.
An unbelievable grab. Fingertips only for Gabriel Walls. The extra point is up and good for Reed Boyster. Touchdown number 5 of the year for Walls. And I don't know if there's been a bigger one than he just had a couple moments ago. Parish leads it 14-0. Here's another look at that beauty.
Just going deep, double coverage, able to pull it in around his knees. Oh, my goodness. And he's celebrating like he knows exactly the moment he caught that. A huge catch here. No place better to do it. You're at the Ford Center. It's the state semifinals. Have yourself a good one, young man.
I don't know if I've ever seen a catch made like that on the backside of the football. That was the cone side of the football, and he made a grab. My goodness.
As much as I want to give a lot of credit to the young man right there, a lot of credit goes to those gloves.
And Preston Stone.
That was a
massively good throw. The awareness to know that it was a free play on 4th down, no less. You can't just chuck that up and hope for that to come down in your favor on a 4th down play like that. He knew, and he was certain that it was going to be an offsides penalty, and because of that, an awesome grab by Mr. Walls in the end zone, and it's a 2-score lead for the Panthers. Booting it away, Boyster, a high arcing kick right at the goal line. That is about as perfect of a kickoff as you could ask for. Bonner has it, shakes off one tackle. This is trouble. Far side to the numbers, all the way to the 40. Bonner shoved out of bounds. A touchdown saving tackle by Daniel Demery. And there you see the explosive speed from Cameron Bonner, the junior. Reeled in a 95-yard touchdown reception last week, longest of his career and of Maddox Kopp's career. Next drive, he followed that up by reeling in a 74-yard touchdown on the offensive end. And I mentioned it earlier, he's had a couple scores in special teams as well. Over 300 yards on returns, and he adds to that total there, giving good field position once again to the Eagles offense. 3 wideouts and a tight end in the package. They give it to Fontenot. Goes right to the right side of the offense, or the offensive line rather. Kenneth Borders again on the stop. Fontenot getting his fair share of carries through the first 2 quarters of this one. Fontenot already with 8 carries and 37 yards on the ball game. Here's the handoff. Up the middle. Good hole. Fontenot breaks free. To the 30-yard line. He's taken down by Partridge. But Fontenot had a wide open look right up the middle. And normally the pressure helps you out in that run defense, but I think that time gap integrity was lost for the Panthers.
Yeah, one of the few breakout plays that we've seen, just running straight up the middle. I talked about it. Noah Richards is going to be pivotal in this one. That time, able to slide right off of his left hip that time, going for a good carry.
Lots of room again for Fontenot. Another first down run, and that's the second straight play that the left guard, Travis Taylor, has made a magnificent block. 6'3", 300-pound senior, one of the leaders on that offensive line for St. Thomas. He came on a swing block that last play, really opened up and solidified the hole. That time he was the lead blocker, and Fontenot just patiently waited behind him and exploded through the open hole.
Yeah, if there's one weakness, unfortunately, for this Parish squad, it's the fact that all season long they have never faced a team that is going to run as much as this St. Thomas squad will. Last week got a little bit of look against Midland Christian.
Fontenot again. 3-yard gain on this one. It looked like they were trying to draw in the defense for a play-action look for Kopp. Now it might be the time to do it, the way that Fontenot's been running the football here in the last couple of moments during this drive. Fontenot, I mentioned it earlier, his longest run of his career, 31 yards earlier this season against Trinity Christian. He gained 21 on that scamper a little bit earlier. Now on the flat, look at the hit! Over the top comes Kenneth Borders, and he lays the wood on the tight end, Drake Martinez. Catch still made, but Borders is being felt.
Yeah, we've seen this all season long. Just about once a game, he lays down a tackle that it sounds like he's cracking a helmet. But the one thing I'm going to applaud Coach Novikov, we have not seen almost any targeting calls come against this Parish defense, and they have been laying the hammer down all season long.
Completion gains about 2 for the Eagles. 3rd and short. Handed off to Fontenot. Slices Tua's left, and he's got nowhere to go. The door closed immediately. Kenyon Addison on the carry, or on the tackle rather, as Fontenot stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Blake Burris blowing by him. Good job by Fontenot that time, making the big man miss. Just needs to slow down, check your feet a little bit, maybe get some basketball practice and you're trying to lock down on a defender. But unfortunately that time able to miss the tackle for loss.
Third time in the red zone for the Eagles. Can they come up with points? Over the middle, completion, close to the first down marker. He has it. Borders makes the tackle, but once again, Joshua Crispin comes over. He's so sneaky, so shifty. He can get between the defense and make a grab, and this time it's enough to move the chains.
Yeah, Borders doing a good job that time, keeping him out of the end zone. But a little bit, I don't want to say soft coverage, but the zone being a little bit lax that time on the second level, able to pick up an easy first down.
Good protection again from that St. Thomas offensive line, averaging over 255 pounds. That's a big offensive line with a lot of veterans. They try and block this time up the middle. That's a new look. As Cooper Thomas comes in and carries for St. Thomas. Thomas only has 4 carries on the year, and this is the first one that has gone for positive yardage. Comes in place of Fontenot, who gets a minor rest, but is inserted right back in the ball game here for second and goal.
Just hit the 2-minute mark here.
From the 4-yard line, they get it to Fontenot. He gets stacked up by Munoz immediately. Sneaks around the right guard, really untouched. And it shows the speed off the ball that Munoz possesses, and there's nothing going again for the running game for John Fontenot and the St. Thomas Eagles, who call a timeout. Actually, Parish with the timeout, as Coach Daniel Novikov and company want to talk things over prior to the 3rd and goal here from the 4-yard line. And like you talked about, Jackson, underneath 2 minutes to play, 1:46 left up on the clock. The two teams respectively trying to chop something up here in this 3rd down and goal situation. It's worked so far for Parish. The defense has stood strong on multiple occasions. However, St. Thomas, you've got to start getting frustrated. Your 3rd time already in the Parish red zone, and you still haven't come up with points. If you don't get points here, it's one of those throw your arms up and say, what else can we do moments.
Yeah, Rich McGuire's got to be yelling at his offense right now, because they are not putting anything going right now in the red zone. You flip over to the defense, what they've been able to do against this absolutely stacked Parish offense, holding them to only 2 scores in the entire first half. This offense now for St. Thomas has got to break through. They have to get something going here at the end of the first half, trying to bring any momentum into halftime as they'll get the ball first, try and get a 14-point swing here.
That would be gigantic for the Eagles, seeing that they have still not found their way onto the scoreboard just yet. Only 3 wideouts here for Cup in the Eagles offense. Play action over the middle, caught, complete, touchdown. A flag flies in late, but it's a completion to Spencer Krieger, the senior, with what could be his 5th touchdown of the season. Should it stand, and it looks like it will. Krieger breaks in, and Kopp hits him on the slant route. We await the official call, but already the special teams unit out on the field for the Eagles.
I'm not sure what's going through the head of this Panther coaching staff. No penalties being called against St. Thomas here in the first half. This now the 5th being called against Parish, and all of them have been at the absolute worst moments.
This one puts 6 up on the board, and much like Parish, there's been a little bit of a struggle with the kicking game for St. Thomas throughout the course of their 2 weeks of playoffs. Of course, they did not get a bye to start their private school playoff season in TAPS. But this one, about as right down the middle as you can get it. Back to a 1-score game. Parish leading 14-6 on the strength of 2 Preston Stone touchdown passes, one of which just a brilliant grab on the near side by Gabriel Walls. Walls, the leading receiver for Parish. 2 receptions, 58 yards, and a touchdown on his total. Christian Benson reeled in the other grab. He's made 3 receptions for 8 yards, but the most important reception that he had put Parish out up in front, but Stone so far 8 of 14, 117 yards and 2 touchdowns on the game. No interceptions just yet. On the other side, Maddox Cobb having a good game so far. 8 of 12, 34 yards, and then he has his first touchdown pass of the night. Yardage-wise, though, Parish continuing to dominate, 168 to 108, as you've got 141 left on the clock, and Parish has 2 timeouts to work with. Each team with almost their full timeout category to work with. 3 timeouts for St. Thomas, and you mentioned it already. They get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, but under 2 minutes, 1:41 remaining here in the first half. That's plenty of time for this Parish squad. We've seen them go 90 yards in under 4 minutes. I'm not too worried. They have the playmaking ability to rattle off something big. It'll all depend on how this secondary or these returners now can bring it in, as Christian Benson will go to receive it, but it's going to go into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, that one booted deep. So 14-7, we'll see that Parish offense out there yet again.
I just want to know why St. Thomas is playing O Canada.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that same thing. I didn't even realize they had a band here. Not gonna
One of the few TAP schools that we've actually faced with a band. You see a lot of them, like Parish, with the drum line. Very few come out with the full band, but St. Thomas making the trek with the squad this week. Empty backfield now for Stone as they're going to motion out Christian Benson. Caleb Culp in the slot on the opposite side with trips to the right. Looking at Benson, able to get it to him, but a good job reception that time. Very quick reaction, but Benson's still on his feet.
Easy reception, about 5 yards. Benson brought down by Joshua Christman. And again, you see Benson and what he can do out of the backfield. Leads the team in receptions, but at least recently it hasn't necessarily been the big-time receptions that you would normally see for Parish. Now Stone on the carry, barrels his way forward, runs into his own man, and that's where he's taken down. Another first down scamper for Preston Stone. Only the 3rd time that he's carried the ball. Or excuse me, that is the 6th time that he has carried the ball, and another completion on the near sideline to Evan Green. Green really been held in check by Joshua Christman. There you see Christman. He's done a really nice job of kind of keeping Green under tap so far.
Green has been one of those interesting characters on this offensive squad for the Panthers, as we see him go off in either a multiple touchdown game or he really doesn't get into the end zone at all. He's kind of been streaky this season, but when he gets going, we've seen multiple 3-touchdown games out of this kid.
Stone looking right over the middle. That one complete on a laser into the hands of Caleb Culp. Culp with another reception right over the middle. He had plenty of room to work with.
Under 50 seconds now. Quick snap going up by Stone. No timeouts taken.
Another bullet over the middle, complete to Culp. Culp tries to spin out of a tackle. He does initially, and then finally dragged down at the 17-yard line. And we should see a timeout here. Joshua Crispin holding on for Culp, and it looks like no timeouts. The clock continues to run. So you see another look at the brilliant pass and another Culp reception. He's been all over the place. Stone on first down, weaves his way through the defense inside the 10-yard line, and now we see a timeout called. 16 seconds remaining, and only 1 timeout left on the board for the Panthers. Trying to tack on some more points before going into the halftime break. This could be crucial with the fact that St. Thomas has a little bit of rhythm on offense.
I'm still wondering what's going through Coach Novikov's head. We saw this last week as well. The only thing that comes to my mind is try not to let the defense sub. That's why you keep the same package out there. You don't call a timeout, but that's 15 seconds that they could be at the 15-yard line with 1 timeout left and 30 seconds on the clock. Instead, they let it roll and only pick up 8 yards.
Kickoff will be at 11 a.m. Don't miss your opportunity to get tickets before they sell out. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com.
See the advertisement. SeatGeek trying to get your tickets. I know you're going to want to go to that game.
I am.
Baylor's showing up.
I'm going to be at that game. That's going to be a fun one. It's been a fun one so far today, 14-7. 16 seconds left, second and short. Stone by himself in the backfield. Takes time, looks over to the sideline. Coach Novikov and company signaling in to their junior play caller. Three receivers to the right. He goes to his left, looking for Green. End zone, goes over a defender off of the back of Joshua Chrisman. And it falls harmlessly to the turf. A quick strike there. Only took 4 seconds off the clock. And it brings up third and short. Here for the Panthers, still looking to try and find the end zone for the third time today.
Excellent pass defense by Chrisman that time, doing a great job. Sees Evan Green reacting to the ball, spins around, nearly has a look at a pick, but it's just a great job that time. Evan Green has not gotten a lot of looks this game. He's caught everything going his way, but definitely not a lot of yardage coming from the strong senior.
Similar look, except now, one in the backfield to the right of Stone. It's Benson back there. 5-step drop. Stone directing traffic. Has a wide open look up the middle. Misses one tackler. Through the middle. Leaps into the end zone. Touchdown, Parish.
Well, we've seen that before.
Airborne Stone. And he flies into the end zone for 6. Sixth time this year, Stone has found pay dirt on the ground. And a crucial score with just 4 ticks left on the clock before the halftime break.
A lot of pressure come off that edge on the field goal. But it's good. Reed Boyster, perfect. Give him some looks like he was early in the year, but 21-7. That time, just great execution down at the goal line by Preston Stone. Absolutely believable as we see the replay now. Kind of uses the back umpire as a little bit of a screen, but goes hurtling over the secondary.
Oh, look at him directing traffic, and then whoop, air Stone, and he finds his way into the end zone. 21-7, Parish on top. 4 seconds left before the halftime break. Has 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground. Well, I guess you could say that one was through the air as well. But all of a sudden, Parish opens it up by a couple scores again, and whenever you see a little bit of rhythm on that offensive end for St. Thomas, it makes it a little bit tougher to have that same kind of energy and that same kind of drive coming out of the halftime break.
Most likely a punch kid's coming from Reed Boyster now. Instead, it'll be a squib bouncing on the ground.
It's picked up and knelt with 2 seconds left, 1 second left. Looked like when he went down on a knee, I looked up at the clock and saw 2 ticks remaining, but it looks like it's only going to be 1 on the clock for the Eagles to potentially find one to the end zone or take it into the halftime break. We'll see exactly what Rich McGuire and company have in store. McGuire in his 3rd season with St. Thomas was at Katie Taylor previously as a linebackers coach. Before that, he was an assistant with St. Thomas for 3 seasons. But since then, he's gone 3-6 in 2017 to 6-6 in 2018 to a 9-3 season and a berth into the state semifinals with this Eagles program. So constant improvement for St. Thomas in his time with the school. Long throw, Kopp far sideline, almost intercepted. Off of the hands and incomplete as Noah Love made a play at it. Bonner was the intended target, and the first half has come to a close. 21-7, Parish and the Panthers up on top of St. Thomas and the Eagles after a total of 24 minutes of game action, Jackson.
This defense is bailing out the offense. If you're Coach Novikov, yeah, you got 3 touchdowns up on the board. Stone's having himself a good game. But if you're going to come into this locker room, praise the defense, focus on the offense. That defense needs to stick with their game plan. This offense has got to get something figured out. The running game has kind of been stagnant. Preston Stone's kind of having to do it all on his own. And again, this could be a very different game if we didn't see catch of the year coming out here at the near pylon. But this offense really needs to get something going. Applaud the defense, but they just need to keep doing what they're doing in the second half.
He's Jackson Donovan. I'm Kyle Yeomans. We do have a 3rd member of our crew in the building at the moment. Mallory Hartley on the far sideline. Mallory, What is your take on the first half that we just saw?
Hey guys, yeah, I think it's kind of been a battle of the defenses. Actually, this game's been a lot closer than we thought it was. We usually expect Parish Episcopal to get their offense rolling early and be up by quite a few over their opponents. I actually did hear Parish Episcopal's defensive coordinator say how he's disappointed in their attitude and how their defenses has been playing, regardless of that score up on the board, which is very interesting. Maybe he's kind of changed his mind a little bit. Although I think the key to this game is for St. Thomas to really keep that offense, that explosive Parish Episcopal offense, off this field. They've done a great job of making key plays in key moments. They do start the second half off with the ball, so hopefully they'll be able to get something rolling and make this maybe a little bit more of a game. Back to you guys in studio.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mallory. And in talking about the keeping the offense off the field, and I think that's really kind of the rhythm that St. Thomas found earlier, and that's a great point by Mallory on the sideline. But looking at really that final drive for the Eagles offense, it took a lot of time off the clock. They ran the ball efficiently with John Fontenot throughout the course of that second quarter, and then they finally found the end zone. Those are three things that the Eagles are going to have to do to start the third quarter. That is officially going to really try and find their way back in the game.
Yeah, this St. Thomas offense, the best thing they can do to aid their defense, don't let Preston Stone be on the field. If you can keep him on the sideline, it's going to look a heck of a lot better for your team. So the one thing that they got to do is stay consistent. If this offense can able to get good running by Fontenot up the middle of the field, all you got to do is let your offense stay in their rhythm, play the game plan, and then wait to see what your defense can do against Stone. If you get a block, great. If they score a touchdown, just get right back on the field, go back to work.
We'll see exactly what the Eagles have in store when we come back here in about 20 minutes. We'll bring you the second half of action. 24 minutes on the game clock for Parish to get to their first state title game since 2014. They lead it 21-7 over St. Thomas and the Eagles. We'll be back in just a moment here on Game On Sports.
We've got this kid right here on the sideline. That's walking out to the hash mark. That's walking out to the hash mark. He's on one of the house cameras that he's hitting sideline here. Yeah. Are we able to get him or anyone to help shoot? Okay.
Downs or a punt or something like that. That's normally the best time to do it. But if you want to just pop in real quick and say something, whether it's like the atmosphere on the sideline or something like that.
Lieutenant Abby Schwartzwalder, First Lieutenant Emma Denheimer, Lieutenant Eugene Lee, and in the center, your captain, Lauren Chapel. directors of the Parish Rosettes are Mrs. Megan Bowen and Miss Taylor Gray.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the St. Thomas Half-Mile Show. Tonight's show is a best-of show from our award-winning halftime shows of this season. Produced and directed by such greats as disc jockey Peter Moran, fresh Mackie Daniel Jones, and Peter Piper Pig. These songs have become classics in the retro world we live in. First up this evening, off the band's 8-track retro recordings, here is a deep cut from the band Moonlove, body part show that was so successful this band. Here is the hit song, Tongue Tongue. next two songs are from our latest bicycle recordings and were featured in the Food Group halftime show just last week. So here we go. One of the largest food groups is the vegetable food group. Recommended daily allowance is 3 to 4 servings, with the majority coming from leafy green types. To musically remind you of this is our second song. Here is the theme to the telenovela VeggieTales.
Welcome back here to the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. Kyle Yeomans alongside Jackson Donovan and Mallory Hartley. But now, a little halftime entertainment for you. We're joined by one of the...
I'm halftime entertainment now.
Absolutely, you
wow.
are. One of the co-hosts of Whataburger's Friday Night Stars every Friday night, live from the Star in Frisco, Mr. Heckma Harrison.
That's me, man.
Heckma, the significant part about this and the reason why the Parish environment and Parish viewership would be interested to watch you on a television screen right now. It's not only your knowledge and your wealth of football in the brain that you have, but also because you have a cousin, Evan Green, that's on the field. And kind of talk to Evan Green and what he's meant to this program and what he's been kind of off the field as well.
Well, he transferred for Marcus his senior year, was just looking for a great opportunity to play. I mean, two great quarterbacks. You talk about the guy that's at Marcus, but here, Preston Stone, amazing opportunity to play with Preston Stone. He's taking advantage of it. And, man, I mean, it's just an awesome opportunity for him, man. That's all I can say about that.
And that's funny. You mentioned that. Garrett Nussmeier and Marcus, and then Preston Stone here. That's two of the best quarterbacks in the
state, right?
Of Texas.
Come on.
He's had some pretty good quarterbacks throwing him the ball, but he's made some magnificent plays on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, pretty steady all year. I think he's up to 1,100 yards. I mean, we'd like to have more at this point.
Wouldn't everybody, though?
I mean, but you look at some of the other wide receivers in the state. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jiba, Marvin Mims, guys that are putting up numbers. He wants to be there. He's as competitive as they are. So you see guys putting up those numbers. He wants to do it week to week, but he's still having a heck of a year for the Panthers.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. The wide receiving, at least the stardom here in Texas high school football in 2019 has really been at the forefront.
Oh, my gosh.
You talk about those names. Marvin Mims, who plays here, Frisco Lone Star.
Yeah.
And this is his home stadium. They beat Highland Park yesterday in overtime to knock off the three-time defending state champion Highland Park Scots. Jackson Smith-Jiba knocking off an Allen squad last year. That was last week. That was a state favorite. And then you move on and they defeat Klein Oak today. So really the big receivers have been the story in Texas high school football.
Unbelievable.
And Evan Green and this entire receiving corps for Parish Episcopal has really kind of been the same way.
Man, I thought last year Theo Weiss was the guy. Yeah. I mean, that there would never be another Theo Weiss, and then in comes Jackson Smith and Jiba, then comes Marvin Mims. It's just been the year of the wide receiver and these young quarterbacks, Preston Stone. This guy's having an amazing year to follow up his sensational sophomore year. I don't know what else could this guy do for his senior year, but the running back position also, E.J. Smith. Oh, my God, Jesuit.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're a state title contender.
I don't even know what to say about Jesuit. Week by week, I'm wondering. I'm like, this is a Cinderella story that is not going to end. I'm so proud of these guys. I mean, what a weekend of football. Starting from Thanksgiving, Friday, today. I mean, oh my God, man! Look, we want the Cowboys to win, but I wish I could get some of that in there.
That's not as good right now.
Not right now.
But the high school football's great.
It's amazing. High school football right now is absolutely amazing. Like I said, the Jesuits of the world, Argyle, La Vega, the rematch.
Yeah, it's coming.
Amazing. I mean, we talk about the teams in Houston last year, Galena North Shore, Atascocita, all of those teams that are emerging from that area that are coming to look, you're seeing the real championship. Shadow Creek in the game that they had down in Houston last year this time, Kyle, we didn't even know about a lot of these teams, but now we have to do a lot more research because, man, there are going to be some games that if you get to see a Duncanville, Galena North Shore again. All right. Yeah, you got to know. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that gives you chills, man.
Absolutely. And I know you've spent a lot of time around coaching staffs during your time. And, of course, with Parish being up 21-7 at the moment, they've got 24 minutes on the clock to secure a spot in the state title game for the first time since 2014. And if you were a coach and you were put into the shoes of Daniel Novikov in that halftime huddle right now, you've played a solid first half. What are your words to that Parish Panther squad?
Preston Stones is a veteran at this point. He knows how to keep a lead. He won't give that lead up. And so you just got to stick to your game plan and not try and do anything, outside of the norm. And that's what they're going to do. They ground and pound, but they also run to set up the pass. And so I believe they're going to get a lot of that. And I believe this offense is going to get on board this second half.
Yeah, 21 points in the first half and over 150 yards. Heckma Harrison,
thank you,
cousin
man.
of
Happy
Evan
holidays,
Green.
brother.
Absolutely, you too. Always glad having Heckma on the show. Now, we've got a second half to get to coming up here in about 10 minutes or so. When we come back, Jackson Donovan and Mallory Hartley will rejoin me. We'll get things started. We've got a couple of quarters to decide who's going to play John Paul II in the state championship game next week in TAPS Division I. We'll be back in just a moment. second half of action just about to get underway as you take a couple looks at the first half stats from Parish Episcopal taking on St. Thomas out of Houston, and the Eagles trail the Panthers 21-7. Kyle Yeomans, Jackson Dunneman, and Mallory Hartley. You'll hear from Mallory here in just a couple of moments. Now, Parish, who received the opening kickoff, will start the second half, booting it away to St. Thomas and the Eagles. Winner of this one taking on Plano St. John Paul II, who took down San Antonio Antonian 31-13 in Georgetown earlier today. And now let's go down to Mallory Hartley on the sideline before we get started in the second half. Mallory?
Thanks, Kyle. Parish Episcopal has looked pretty good so far this game. I'm not really sure if it's what they're used to. To put a little bit more into perspective, they have 243 total yards and 11 first downs already this game. The offense is doing exactly what it needs to get by, but I'm not sure they're fully living up to that full potential that we all know that they're capable of. Kyle?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mallory. Great point talking about how Parish offensively hasn't necessarily found the rhythm that we're used to seeing, but that defense has been stout so far. How quickly that was able to get in the backfield. Andrew Merrick all the way in the backfield already, and there's that defense that we saw in the first half of action, just allowing the 7 points overall and really stifling a St. Thomas offense.
Yeah, it all starts up front with the top three defensive line. Noah Richards, Blake Burris on the edge. Been quiet tonight, but with that big frame, he's going to rearrange a lot of those throws that come off his edge. And then, of course, Josue Munoz getting a couple sacks. This one going deep.
Going deep, but it is intercepted. Noah Love in the secondary had a step on the receiver, turned into a receiver himself, and the captain reels it in for a first turnover of the day.
Noah Love, backup quarterback, comes in, starts the year as safety, has great ball presence all year long. They move him into the slot on cornerback that time. Great job, beautiful over the shoulder interception that time. A lot of momentum now shifting over to the Panthers as their offense comes onto the field, already with a 2-score lead. See if they can extend that now here as just over 30 seconds went off the clock there to start the second half.
Wow. You talk about a momentum shift. You get the score right at the end of the half, and then you turn around, you get the ball to start almost the second half. A quick turn or a quick carry there right up the middle. And it's into the hands of Karin Lynch, who had a modest first half, but back in starting the second half of action, as we saw Christian Benson really get the majority of the carries through the first 2 quarters.
Benson, such a big threat. Out of the backfield in the slot that time. Lynch getting a look in the action. Unfortunately, cleats slide just off the top of the turf. As we'll see now, an empty set trips to Stone's right, but he'll look for a quick pass to Benson, shakes him off, goes back to him now, as he'll make a quick move streaking down the sideline.
Benson continues to just be explosive. Man, he is fun to watch. He is just a joy out of the backfield, letting that happen. See another great look at it. Out of the flats, he is so dangerous with the ball in hand and with a little bit of space to work with, tiptoeing his way before just stepping out of bounds. 2 receivers to the right. Couple in the backfield for Preston Stone. He gives it to Benson again. Good blocking up in front. And he'll be snatched from behind. Easy grab there from Cooper Thomas. Thomas, 7.5 tackles, a tackle for loss last week against Bishop Lynch. Leads the team in tackles this year, up over 160. He also has over 20 tackles for loss. He is a monster defensively and part of a stout linebacking core for St. Thomas that has really kind of kept Parish in check, at least for now, through the first quarters of play. Handoff up the middle. Again, it's Benson. Dives into the pile, and he gets about a yard on the play. Brings up 3rd and 7. First third down we've seen this Panthers offense face here in the second half. Stone, the check at the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers to either side for the junior quarterback. Stone on the game, 12 of 19, 165 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. Throw over the middle, curl route complete to Evan Green. Green dragged down from behind, but it's another completion to Green. Kanikidis is on the tackle. Green now with 4 receptions, close to 30 yards in the ball game.
We saw Jai Moore rotate over to that far side of the field with Evan Green. He streaks down the field, pulls the safety away, and Evan Green able to do a clean cut that time, come back first down for the Panthers.
Back to 4 wide out. Stone again, another curl route to Green. It's worked again. He shifts through 4 different defenders. Ho, ho, ho. The stutter step from Evan Green lost everybody, and even though it only additionally put about 4 yards up on the reception, that was impressive.
Yeah, who cares how many yards you get? That one was pretty. Good job that time making a man miss. Any extra yardage you can get is going to put just that much confidence in the mind's eye of the quarterback wanting to get you the ball.
Sneaking into red zone territory about a yard away. Hand off to Benson. He'll push through a pile. Stays on his feet. Bounces to the outside. Benson to the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers.
And giving off the Saquon Barkley celebration, arms waving around. I don't know how he stayed on his feet. For as small as he is, there had to have been 5 St. Thomas defenders in just a 2-foot area around him. Somehow he sneaks out of the pile and goes in for another touchdown.
Went straight into the pile and then sliced his way out of it, jumping out of the cake and then following all the way into the end zone. Into the end zone, Benson, his second touchdown of the day, as the point after is up and no good as it's sliced off into the left. But second time today that Benson's found pay dirt. Once through the air, he made the reception in the back shoulder of the end zone, and this time he just bounces to the outside. I don't know how he didn't go to the ground right about there.
Ankle wrapped up, just waiting for someone to tee off on him, but never gives up on the play. Keeps shifting, almost like your basketball player having one foot able to pivot. That time finally able to break through, and just a beautiful job finding the turf of the end zone. There's the celebration. He is one happy man as he's going off for another multiple touchdown game, as he now has 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks here in the playoffs.
4 touchdowns on the ground this season for Benson. He continues to be just a lightning in a bottle for Parish Episcopal, and all of a sudden it's a 20-point advantage for Parish, and St. Thomas has their backs against the wall here in the third quarter. Talked about how the winner of this one has a date next week in Waco, Texas, with St. John Paul II out of Plano. And at the moment, it looks like it could be an all-Dallas matchup after John Paul II took care of business over San Antonio Antonian earlier this afternoon. Looking for the reverse again. It's a fake reverse. It stays in the hands, once again, of Joshua Chrisman. And Gabriel Grubbs was not even fooled by any of the trickery in the backfield. And it's only about a 10-yard return.
Yeah, great coverage that time by the Panthers. Well back into their territory now. Starting at their own 15 will be St. Thomas. It's going to be a tough road ahead of them against this stout defense.
4 receivers. Fontenot in the backfield as Maddox Kopp goes back into the ball game. Had a 9 of 14 first half, only had 37 yards, did have a touchdown through the air. First snap. That one through the hands and incomplete. Looking again for Joshua Chrisman. Chrisman, who we talked about earlier, so sneaky and elusive, tends to find his way back behind the defense, leads the team in receptions with close to 60. This time just through his fingers and incomplete.
Even if you pull that in, Gabriel Grubbs, and we've already seen it, the hard-hitting Kenneth Borders waiting in the shadows to bring him in. Wouldn't have been much of a gain, but any positive yardage on this defense is definitely going to be something you cannot afford to give up.
Give is the Fontenot. He stacked up immediately. Josue Munoz, the senior defensive lineman, comes in and stacks up Fontenot for a loss of 1 on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 11.
We cannot talk about it enough this season. Josue Munoz, you walk into the game, you line up against him as your offensive line tackle. He's your defensive end one-on-one matchup. You don't see a lot because he's not an overpowering figure when you look at him, but he has got more speed off the ball than just about anyone in Texas on that defensive line.
Third down has been a real bugaboo for the Eagles thus far. 1 of 5 on the day. 3-step drop, looking up over the edge, far sideline, and it looked like miscommunication with Spencer Krieger and his quarterback. And Krieger, who was really in the midst of a bunch of white jerseys, there were a lot of Parish secondary kind of lurking in the distance.
Down the coverage that time. Already with an interception this game was Noah Love. Didn't give up a step at all. Great coverage that time. I think even if the ball was in range, it would have been a tough matchup. Nonetheless, goes just wide as we'll see a QB punt.
Yeah, Maddox Kopp going to take a couple steps back and boot it away. He had a really impressive kick earlier, but this is going to be returned. A great returnable punt with some room to work and a blindside block on the backside. Flags will fly.
We do see a player down, slow to get up, luckily getting up on his own accord. But, yeah, blindside block, the number one emphasis, no matter what level you're playing at, is player safety. And as we see the umpire talking it over, looks like the penalty might be called against – he's talking to number 21, Keegan Addison. We'll wait to see who the penalty gets called against.
The return was with Daniel Demery, who has shown some elusiveness and some explosiveness today. But we saw it immediately, and it was a big-time hit. Back in the day, that's one of those that you go and put on a highlight reel.
Clear to return, personal foul. Return team, number 99, blindside block. 15-yard penalty to respond to foul. Parish keeps the ball, first down.
But instead, it's Blake Burris called for the blindside block. And I'll tell you what, if I were anybody, you see 99 coming over, I do not want 6'4", 260 in my living room just like that. I don't care who you are. That time Jackson Phillips was on the brunt end of it. He's 6'2", 230, but I don't care if you're 6'2", 230. You still don't want any of that. And it's a personal foul, backs up Parish Episcopal. First snap, Stone over the middle, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Evan Green. And brings up second down.
Consistent game thus far as we hit the 7:37 mark in the third. That's his first drop of the game as he's caught his first 5 targets now, 5 of 6. Completions for Stone going to Green now on the far side.
They've made it an effort to get it into the hands of Evan Green and their senior playmaker. Talked to Heckma Harrison during halftime, his cousin. 45 receptions entering the day, 754 yards for Evan Green. Another handoff up the middle. Nothing going for Lynch.
We just haven't seen the explosive play coming from Lynch tonight. He has been a mainstay throughout the year. Of course, he's going to end up being a Division I player next year. Still undecided, but he does have it narrowed down to a few Power 5 schools. Wait to see what his decision will be.
A little bit of a pause on third down. 4 wideouts for Parish. Looking to convert again on third down. High snap, 3-step drop. Stone looking over the middle, directing traffic. And he's driving right up the middle. He'll be stacked up right near the 50-yard line. Nice play by the outside linebacker Vincent Lee, the 5'11", 210 junior. Let's go down before this fourth down try to Mallory Hartley on the sideline.
Hey guys, I just overheard Parish Episcopal's defensive coordinator talk about how the defense is communicating so much better. There's definitely a momentum shift here, but they do have to do a better job at stopping that run in order to be successful. Kyle.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mallory, and they might have an opportunity to do that here in just a couple of moments. That defense has been stout against the run so far today, and the Parish Episcopal Panthers are going to have another shot at stopping it after this long high kick. Fair catch made right at the 18-yard line. An awkward tumble from Daniel Coco. And that is where the Eagles will start here on offense. Now, we mentioned it at halftime, Jackson, talking about that run game that Mallory just mentioned. John Fontenot and what he was able to do was really the biggest key for St. Thomas in that first half. 15 carries, 74 yards. He hasn't found the end zone but it's one of the first times that this Parish defense has really seen a team that runs as often as St. Thomas does.
Yeah, last week they got a little bit of a look against Midland Christian, but you talked about it. This district that they've come out of in Division I has been all pass-happy teams. They haven't had to worry about the run too much. But right now, you look at their defense. They run a hybrid 3-3-5, almost a 3-4 defense. It doesn't give you a lot of extra pressure on a running game. They haven't needed that all season long. They've done a good job with Josue Munoz, Noah Richards, and Blake Burris up front. But this running game is throwing a different wrench in the game plan for Parish. We'll see how Coach Novikov changes it up here in the second half.
This is an offense that can throw the ball. Kopp has over 2,800 yards passing. And big reason why is his playmakers on the outside. Cameron Bonner shakes free of a couple tackles and then finally is dragged down after a first down reception. But Kopp entering today, 55% passing, 27 touchdowns, and over 290 yards per game. That's more than what Preston Stone and the passing offense has had for Parish, over the course here of the 2019 season. So this is an offense with that man leading the charge in Maddox Kopp that can throw it through the air. And we'll see what they have now that their backs are officially against the wall. They've got to get it to their playmaker, and that's that man right there, Cameron Bonner. Out of the over 2,800 yards that St. Thomas had through the air this year, Bonner had about 1,200 of them.
No, it's impressive what this young man is able to do. But it's going to be interesting to see how the offense changes. We saw him run a lot in the first half. Maybe see if the Panthers are getting comfortable with that, see what their defense does. You've got to be able to switch it up. So we'll see what Coach McGuire here on the sideline of St. Thomas is able to do, because right now, even though you're down on the scoreboard, knowing how this team likes to operate passing-wise, but they've been able to successfully run it, they've got a wide-open playbook.
Shovel pass to Bonner again, threw him in motion. Right in front of Kopp he went. They tossed him the football. He scored on this exact same play call last week against Bishop Lynch. In that game, Bonner had a 94-yard touchdown reception. He scored from 74 yards out on that exact play call. Going right in front of Mallory Hartley on that far sideline. Having to keep up right back behind that Parish bench. 4 wideouts. Low snap. Kopp looking over the middle. Complete into the hands of Joshua Crispin.
Just some soft zone coverage that time. They have gone well back to the passing game here in this drive. Not a lot of Fontenot right now out of the backfield. It's all Bonner right now. Good change of game plan coming off the St. Thomas sideline. They've kind of got Parish exactly where they want them on play call right now.
Clock ticking underneath 4:20 left to play here in the third quarter. Plenty of time. This one in the flats, scooped up just before he gets off the turf. Chrisman again on the reception. He's been busy here in the second half. One of the favorite targets so far for St. Thomas. Emery on the tackle. He was quick on top of it. It's a gain of about 2 on the play.
Great job by Demery that time. Quick reaction to go to the flat, breaking down, not letting the man get past him. That could have been a big gain. All he had to do was make Demery miss, but the freshman showing a lot of poise there out in the secondary, coming down from the free safety position.
Clock continues to run. Check at the line of scrimmage for Maddox Kopp. 6'5", 210-pound junior quarterback. Steps back, hands it off on the draw, up the middle, and the halfback, John Fontenot, scampers for what is close to first down yardage. They'll call him down right at the 25-yard line. Kind of a generous spot toward that Panthers defense. But Fontenot, once again, for about 8 yards on the carry, and it sets up 3rd and short. Trying to get back in the red zone again. Handoff. Fontenot has a lead blocker up in front. Green to work with. Spins forward to about the 17-yard line, or the 12-yard line, rather. There's a penalty marker down in the backfield. This could be coming back.
Yeah, with the position of where the flag was thrown, majority of the time that's a hold, and that's exactly what it'll be.
So backing up are the Eagles. Drake Martinez, the tight end. Talented junior tight end, 6'3", 200 pounds, is called for the hold out in front. Unable to see it on the screen.
I will say this, as impressive a drive as we've seen here coming from the Eagles of St. Thomas, the clock is not in their favor. I know we're in the third quarter, but they are down by 4 scores. They're down by 3 scores. They need to get it going quickly. Though the one thing Parish does is score quick, the clock is not in favor of St. Thomas.
Fontenot in the flats. One-on-one far side, and he's not going to get around him. Once again, Caleb Culp defensively comes flying in and spins Fontenot out of bounds on the far sideline. Brings up 4th and long.
Long 4th and 10 now coming up for the Eagles. Well out of field goal range unless you've got an NFL kicker on your side. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they do, so they'll go for it here. It's going to be interesting to see how this defense steps up. This could be a massive shift if the Panthers can stop this one and give it back to their offense.
4th down, and they need all 10. 4 wideouts. Kopp looking to the far side. It is out of reach, incomplete. And the Panthers defense stands strong again. Turnover on downs, and it goes back over to Parish.
Had the man he was looking for in Cameron Bonner, exactly who you think is going to get the ball out of that game plan. Unfortunately, going just a little bit wide. You talked about his stats in this season, under 60% in completion. Not where you want it to be, even though this is high school. The one thing you need is consistency from your quarterback. They haven't quite had that this season right there. Unfortunately, it crept back up on them, and it will be a turnover on downs.
So 3 wideouts to start for Preston Stone and the Parish offense. Hand off to Lynch. Lynch has a blocker in front. He will barrel his way forward close to the 40-yard line. Good gain on 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Lynch starting to find a little bit of a rhythm, get the feet back underneath him after he struggled with a couple injuries earlier this year.
Yeah, great trend-setting run by Carl Lynch that time out of the backfield. If they can get just a little bit of momentum going for him, that will open up a lot of opportunities in the passing game for Stone and Christian Benson.
Play action. Stone with the keeper. Spins off a tackle. He has the 1st down and more, falling forward to the 43-yard line. Another good run from Preston Stone. Had a couple of those in the first half. As Stone had 9 carries for 48 yards. There's his first real carry of the second half. Just the awareness of the pocket collapsing around him. St. Thomas is doing a nice job of putting some pressure on him defensively, coming off of the 3-man front. But that man right there, Preston Stone, in his junior season, continues to make some plays. For a fresh set of downs, they give it to Lynch, bouncing to the outside and throwing a shoulder into a defender. Lynch throwing the wood down. Even though it's a gain of about 4, you got the far sideline hyped up about that one.
Yeah, good job this time. Just coming up the middle, almost turns his back into the defender, almost rolls over him, but a good pickup. Again, another trend-setting rush that time, picking up 4 yards, making this a manageable 2nd down.
Now you've got Benson in the slot. At the bottom of your screen is Culp. Green to the top of the screen. 2 in the backfield. They sling it to Green. Diving play at the 40-yard line, and it's complete. And Green a little shaken up on the play. Might have gotten the air knocked out of him as he'll hobble over to the far sideline, but not before a spectacular grab, laying out and reeling it in with both hands. Let's take another look.
What can't this secondary do? Evan Green, incredible job that time. The bright blue gloves showing that it wasn't touching the turf. A great pull that time on the dive.
Stone now without Green, though. New receiver into the far side. Stone hands it off. Lynch again. Rumbles his way into the pile. And a modest gain of about 4 again on the play. That's the consistency that Lynch brings to the table. Wide receiver, by the way, that's in for Evan Green, Daniel Dimery, a freshman, 6'1", 184 pounds. We've seen him on special teams. He enters the ball game, but the Panthers about as confident as can be heading into the 4th quarter. They are more than happy to let that clock tick down. And after 3, Parish leads by 20, 27-7 over St. Thomas, much to the pleasure of the Panthers faithful. And they're 12 minutes away for their first state title appearance since 2014.
Yeah, great showing here in Frisco. Of course, a lot of fans had to funnel out after that Arlington-Denton-Geyer game. Good showing here by the Dallas faithful for Parish Episcopal. Unfortunately, with it being a long drive, not as many St. Thomas fans, but then again, this is just a beautiful stadium to be playing at here at the Ford Center. Not much more you can ask for. I'd rather be here than out in the 20-mile-an-hour winds outside.
$1 billion facility. It was a beautiful day outside, about 72 degrees. And before we go back to the fourth quarter, let's go down to Mallory Hartley on the far sideline. Mallory, what you got? It looks like we're having some technical issues getting in touch of Mallory, but not any technical issues for Preston Stone. Wants it all. Going for Demery on the far sideline. No penalty flags. And coverage there for Nick Canadigas. And just like that, it brings up 3rd and 6.
Yeah, I'm sure if they were able to get that touchdown in to start the fourth quarter, that would have sucked all the life out of this sideline from St. Thomas. Good coverage that time by the corner as he was able to knock that one down. So now 3rd and about 5 need to pick up for the first.
3 receivers to the far side. Stone back in the shotgun. Green back in the ball game. And the counter for Parish gives it to Benson. And Benson moves forward to about the 38-yard or the 33-yard line before he's brought down by Vince Lee. Another good solid carry for Christian Benson. Brings up 4th and 4 now. It's decision time for Coach Novikov as Parish could either go for it here on 4th and short or punt it away, potentially putting it deep into the territory of St. Thomas.
And I wouldn't disagree with maybe a quarterback punt here. Preston Stone not going to get a lot of leg behind it, but if you can pin this St. Thomas team, force them to take a lot of time off the clock, that could be an interesting call.
You're going to go with 4 wide. No punt here. Stone back to pass. Plenty of time. Has a wide open Evan Green on a slant over the middle. Goes inside the 15. Dragged out of bounds. Evan Green again finds his way open. Coco makes the stop, but not before the Panthers are back in the red zone.
Yeah, great to see Evan Green come back onto the field. First play back, hits a great cross right at about the 30-yard line. Takes another 15 yards up the field, forced out of bounds. Parish has got something cooking here to start the fourth.
1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Parish again knocking on the door of extending their 20-point lead and further solidifying what could be their spot in the state title game next week. Hand off to Lynch. Barrels his way forward. A gain of about 1 on the play. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage before Daniel Coco makes the stop. Let's go down to Mallory Hartley now on the Parish sideline.
Thanks, Kyle. I was over kind of by the benches earlier, and I saw that Evan Green was kind of getting concussion protocol done to him. He looked a little bit winded. He looked a little bit out of it. He is back in the game right now, but we should keep an eye on him to see how he's doing throughout the game, the rest of the game. Kyle.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mallory. Great point. Talking about Evan Green, made a magnificent play on that 4th down and 4. Now here's Stone, fakes the pitch, breaks back to his left, slices his way through the defense and into the end zone. Preston Stone with a 2nd rushing touchdown of the game, and Parish with the dagger in the fourth quarter.
What can't this kid do? Hugs Christian Benson that time, a good fake as he was able to take it into the end zone, giving a little bit of Lamar Jackson-esque step back, lets the man blow by him, trots into the end zone. Boyster trying to come on now to make it a 4-possession game. Just, oh my goodness.
There's not a whole lot you can say. He is a magician with the ball in his hands, whether it's through the air or on the ground. He went airborne earlier, and as the PAT is up and good, Preston Stone and the Parish offense grows their lead 34-7 in a dominant force so far through the first 3 quarters and change. Let's take another look. I love the head fake that he made right around the 7-yard line here.
Just a good old-fashioned, watch it. Go back, watch We Are Marshall running the veer a little bit right there off the left side, doing a good little fake pitch. Completely dekes out the defense, as unfortunately we see a sad Alabama fan But oh wait, he's clapping, his team's winning.
Alabama, of course, losing in the Iron Bowl today to Auburn. And setting up what could be a wild sprint to the finish for the college football playoff selection coming in the final weeks of college football season. We're in the final weeks of Texas high school football in the state semifinals of TAPS Division I. Right now being dominated by Dallas. Plano John Paul II taking care of business earlier today down in Georgetown, and so they await the winner of this one. And right now Parish is really kind of doing what we thought they would, 37-7, and a 27-point lead for the Panthers. All the way back to receive it is Bonner. Bonner fakes the pitch, takes it himself, stuck behind his own man and a blocker right around the 20-yard line, and he does come crashing down around the 21, a little pushing and shoving following the special teams event. You saw Kenneth Borders in the middle of that, just trying to get out of the pile clean as he gets back on defense. Back to the field goes the St. Thomas Eagles, offensively really stifled today by that Parish defense. Panthers have just been so good on that side of the football, holding St. Thomas to just a $166 total, 77 through the air and 89 on the ground. Total of 11 first downs for St. Thomas today. They look for the long ball right over the middle, and it's caught by the tight end into the hands of Drake Martinez. Martinez, who entered the day with 45 receptions on the year, taken down by Luke Bridges, but now he's up over 560 yards of offense, and that was an easy pitch and catch for the Eagles.
Give a lot of credit to Maddox Kopp. Really relied on the running game there in the first half. In the second half, Coach McGuire kind of giving it to him, letting him dictate how this game goes. Done a great job, even though the scoreboard isn't on his favor.
4 wideouts again. Plenty of time for Kopp. Completes it right at the line of scrimmage, but Culp was all over Spencer Krieger. Senior able to make the reception, but he's taken down by the captain defensively, and Culp, like I said, just blanketed.
Very impressed with the seniors on this defensive front for the Panthers. They all know this defense, you're going to lose a lot of those starters, the entire front line. If they're going to win a state championship, this is the year to do it.
They've got a big offensive line, and it gives Culp plenty of time, or Kopp, plenty of time to throw. That time, touch pass just off the mark, looking for Martinez. It is just out of the reach of the fingertips of the tight end.
Just unfortunately, again, as we've seen it on the two of the last 3 drives, had a chance to get a good chunk of yardage, but going just out of reach of the intended receiver. Now going to be a long third down.
3rd and 9. Right up the middle. Fontenot clanging right off of the defender and then falling forward past the first down marker. And it past the 50-yard line. Merrick was in on the stop, but another good first down run from John Fontenot. He's probably been the most consistent part of that Eagles attack.
Nearing that 100-yard mark, rushing. Had a good outing here in the semis. But again, unable to find the end zone.
Long drop back for Kopp. Escapes the pressure right near the line of scrimmage. Lets it fly. Complete at the 23-yard line. Finds Krieger in coverage. A gorgeous throw from Maddox Kopp as Grubbs was there, and really the entire secondary closing in on him. And a nice job just extending the play by the junior quarterback.
Good job that time. Great throw on the run, able to get the reception. Good body control to stay in bounds. That time you talked about it. Able to pick up a long first down.
Fontenot again breaks off a tackler, finally dragged down from behind as Munoz got his claws clamped on each of the legs of Fontenot, but he's back inside right at the 10-yard line. So St. Thomas moving the ball at will right now.
You always talk about speed. How many times do you see a defensive end miss a tackle on a running back and yet able to catch up and tackle him anyways?
Not first, but the second try for Munoz that time. 3-step drop, looking up over the middle, wide open man, overthrown. Looking for Martinez again, who had a step on Demery in the secondary, trying to go to that back pylon, and a little bit too much touch on that one as it falls incomplete.
Yeah, that one not even close on the attempt. Unfortunate at that time. Would have had an end zone if he had a little bit more touch on it. Would it be 2nd and goal from the 10.
Four wideouts for Kopp. Right over the middle, complete. Again, oh, it's fumbled. They're going to say he was down first. Krieger had the reception, dragged down by Luke Bridges. But Bridges dropped the football, Krieger dropped the football right as Bridges had the tackle, but it stays 3rd down and goal. Offset tight end. Kopp hands it to Fontenot, breaks to his left, tries to dive, reaches for the end zone, he's in. Touchdown Eagles. Fontenot berated by Parish defenders, but it wasn't enough as the junior tailback rumbles his way into the end zone for 6.
Keegan Addison and Adam Red there on the tackle. Fontenot just giving too much power, kept churning the legs, able to take it in, his first touchdown of the game, but with under 8 minutes remaining here in the 4th, it's going to take a lot to come back, trying to get this extra point to make it 34-14.
And the boot is up and right down the middle for St. Thomas, who gets back on the board. First score since the middle of that 2nd quarter for the Eagles. Still down by 20. And Jackson with 7:51 remaining, and you see the touchdown scamper for Fontenot. Do you expect an opportunity here for an onside kick, or do you boot it away and try and let your defense do some more?
I think if you go by the playbook, maybe try and get a quick stop. But it's an interesting situation you get in. With Parish, they've had a lot of practice against onside because Reed Boyster has got to be one of the best onside kickers I've seen at any level here in high school. Again, 3 of 5 this year on onside. So this coverage team knows how to block. It looks like Coach Novikov is expecting a little bit of trickery.
He's got 7 within 10 yards of the kickoff, and now they even bring more in. The only man back is Christian Benson, as you see on your screen at the moment. 7:51 left, a 20-point lead for Parish. Panthers hands team on the field. We'll see if it's an onside kick, and it is really quickly. Has to go 10 yards. It is touched before the 10-yard line. And I believe that's where they're going to get possession. It was recovered by by St. Thomas. However, it's going to stay with Parish because that did not go a total of 10 yards.
No, it should have been a penalty thrown on that one, but they're kind of just going to let it play out. Probably act like it went out of bounds at the spot, but it's going to be Parish ball. They're going to have great field position. Under 8 minutes to play.
Offense trots back out on the field in enemy territory to start this next drive here in the 4th quarter. Kyle Yeomans, Jackson Donovan, Mallory Hartley here for Game On Sports, bringing you the state semifinal matchup from the beautiful Ford Center in Frisco. Hand off to Benson. Streaks upfield, had a little bit of a seam, but he's brought down after a gain of about 6 by Vincent Ori.
If you want to talk about good heads-up play, great job. Karin Lynch set a good block there on the edge. Only would have been a gain of about 2 or 3. Watch Lynch come out of the backfield, finds the second-level linebacker and just drives him back. Doesn't give up on the play, had him back behind where the first down would have been, giving Christian Benson a clear look for a gain of 8.
Good blocking has been one of the keys today for Parish. One of the reasons why they have put up some massive numbers again on offense. Benson with a huge hole, far side, bye-bye! Christian Benson to the end zone for the 3rd time today.
I think that's about good night. As we see Parish get another one on the board. Put them at 40, make that 6 straight games now that they have scored at least 40 points. Keep in mind, 2 of those are here in the playoffs.
Once he had some space, there was no stopping Christian Benson. He had a date with the end zone And he got there as quickly as he possibly could. Another impressive run from one very talented junior in the backfield. And the extra point is up. Wobbly, but it's good off the foot of Reed Boyster. 41-14. A dominant showing offensively for Parish, but I think the defense still really deserves a lot of the credit. And Benson taking advantage on the far sideline.
This offense finally catching stride. Took less than a minute to find the end zone there, but you're absolutely right. This defense has been the cornerstone of this team for the Panthers all season long. They're coming through strong in this one. The last thing you want to do if you're coming up against this Parish team is struggle offensively, because that's just going to give the ball to Preston Stone, and we've seen all year long what he's capable of. They've given him the opportunities. It took him till the second half to finally get it rolling, but now that he's got it going, this game is just about all but over with 7 minutes remaining. As it's 41-14, Parish leads this one in a very dominating fashion.
42-yard touchdown run for Christian Benson. As Boyster gets ready to boot this one away again, you've got both the speedsters in Bonner and in Chrisman back to receive again. We've seen some trickery a little bit from this special teams unit. As Boyster boots it deep, it'll be Chrisman to originally field it. Gives it to Bonner, far side, looking for some blockers. Bonner has some room, past the 40, past midfield. It's a foot race, and it's a one-on-one with the kicker, and Bonner's going to win that. Fourth time this year that Bonner has taken one back, and there is a flag in the backfield.
That is a gut wrencher. No matter where this penalty is called, if this one is going to be a block in the back, and I'm not quite sure what you can say if you're Coach McGuire on that sideline. You finally get something going for you, and it gets called back. This one is absolutely going to kill that team.
What could have been a momentum-building return, and we'll see it one more time. The blocking, the return, the seam, the speed, all work in favor of St. Thomas, but the penalty flag negates all.
Yeah, it looked like they got Kenneth Border trying to make an edge rush, or trying to get to him on the edge around the 30, gets clipped just behind the shoulder. As this is just an absolute gut-wrencher, going to be called. Back them up inside their own 20 after what would have been a return touchdown.
Eagles start on the 15-yard line. Throw back behind the receiver. 6:42 left up on the clock. Noah Love in the secondary in coverage that time. Another incomplete pass in the backfield. Motion in the backfield now for St. Thomas. Beltline snap over the middle, almost picked off again, right in the vicinity. Noah Love, who had an interception earlier, had a chance to dive backwards toward that football.
Second straight play we've seen maybe just trying to press the issue a little bit too much. That one, again, back-to-back throws behind the intended receiver. We saw him a little bit earlier giving a little bit too much leadway, too much touch on the ball. Now throwing it a little bit too far behind. Got to get it figured out, unfortunately, as we're in the fourth quarter, about the halfway mark. Might be a little bit too late as this one's starting to get away from him.
Three receivers, all within the numbers. And that one complete to the tight end, and Martinez past the 33-yard line. Emery drags him down almost immediately, but on the slant, he had a lot of room to work with, and it shows the athleticism that Drake Martinez had. Reeled in a career-high 9 receptions and 113 yards and 2 touchdowns versus Trinity Christian earlier this season. But the big tight end who moves well works that time like a slot receiver.
That time, try to get the corner route to go. Try to get Chrisman. You've talked about him all night long. Has the speed to beat just about anyone. That time going just out of reach.
Defense, number 99.
They're going to call roughing the passer on Blake Burris, the senior defensive lineman, the guilty party. He comes in with a late hit, and it gives a fresh set of downs to St. Thomas. "46-yard line. Trying to get back into enemy territory are the Eagles. Held underneath 300 offensive yards today. Back goes Kopp, looking over the middle. Once again, it's Martinez. He has been a factor here in this fourth quarter. Makes the reception on the near sideline before being pushed out by Grubbs. And it's back inside the 40 here for St. Thomas. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean points because this Parish defense has been tough.
Yeah, they've had a lot of very keen situational sacks that time. Nearly got one coming off the edge was Colby Blatnick that time. Good awareness by Kopp to get rid of it with perfect timing as we see a sub come in on the secondary. Luke Bridges is going to come back out to go outside corner.
St. Thomas now up over 300 yards in the game after that last reception. Looking long again, trying to find Bonner. Blown up in the secondary. Ho! Henry Partridge has no part in that, and he comes over and lays a last-second hit, jarring that ball loose on the far sideline. And originally Bonner shaken up on the play. He's back up and jogging to the near sideline. A great look there, but a massive play over the top from the free safety.
Knowing he wasn't going to get there in time to break up the pass with his hands, trying to lay the wood down, doing a great job forcing it out. Good heads-up play that time by Partridge. One of those you got to keep the head low. Try not to lead with the crown of the helmet. He did a good job.
Three receivers to the far side. Kopp under pressure. He is swarmed from behind and taken down for a sack. Merrick comes in, his first sack of the day, number 4 total.
Good job by Andrew Merrick. You see hole busts open because of Noah Richards. Merrick takes advantage of it on almost a quarterback spy, decides to cut out for the block. That one all led by just a great hole. Noah Richards, haven't called his name a lot tonight, but definitely being a big part of this defensive front.
Screenplay chalked up for Fontenot and up for the first down, and Moore spins off of his feet. Demery comes in with the hit that eventually jars Fontenot off balance into the turf. But another big play and another nice play call from Coach McGuire and company on that near sideline for St. Thomas.
Very good heads-up play that time by Spencer Krieger, doing a good job. He could have had a blindside block. Instead, just throws his hands up, stops moving. No penalty called. Good job that time by Krieger.
Back to 4 wideouts again for the Eagles. And a timeout called with 5 minutes left. And the clock actually ticks down 1 more second, so 4:59 remaining on the clock. Fresh set of downs. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 14. John Paul II awaiting the winner of this one. And of course, Parish has already taken down John Paul. They did so back on November 1st in emphatic fashion as Parish took down John Paul 47-7 back on the first date of the month. They'll get him in December as well, and that's a John Paul team that's a little bit different and has a lot more confident going into a state title game as you see some of the UNT plays of the game, but an unbelievable showing from this offense for Parish Episcopal.
No, it's good to see him get it rolling here in the second half. Might be a little bit scared moving into a championship game if that offense is getting stagnant, but Coach Novikov doing a great job, goes into the locker room, knows exactly what he has to say to get this offense going, and this entire team has played incredible after the break.
First down. Trying to throw it on the near side to Spencer Krieger, but a flag flies in late. Luke Bridges going to be the guilty party.
I can agree with that one. I'm not quite liking it, but I can't agree with it. A good job that time on the call. Had just a little bit too much jersey of that back shoulder, not letting the receiver get turned around quite in time. And with the ref right in his face, it was a little bit too easy of a call Unfortunately, Luke Bridges didn't like it, but he's going to have to accept it.
Pass interference, defense number 20. Rule to be called in relation to the 2-yard line, automatic first down.
So it sets up St. Thomas at the 2-yard line. Knocking on the door to try and get back into the end zone. There you see the penalty flag flying in late. Controversial pass interference. Underneath 5 to play, and St. Thomas trying to stay at least within striking distance. They're going to need a lot of help and some onside kick help from here on out. Fontenot gets the carry, bounces off the first tackler, dives forward, second effort, third effort. Is it enough? No, he's right down at the 1-yard line. And that is a tough run from John Fontenot. He is so tough to bring down on first contact. You see why there.
Yeah, we saw him do this when his only touchdown he has in the game. Did a great job on multiple efforts to get past the goal line that time. Everyone knew where the ball was going, so this entire defensive front lining up in the box and able to drag him down before he crossed the end zone.
And an easy walk the dog touchdown for Fontenot. Nobody even on the near side. However, there is a penalty flag flying in late. And this may go against the Parish Panthers.
Defense, number 27, penalties decline. Multiple plays.
Looks like they're going to call that penalty on Henry Partridge. 41-20 now with 4:20 remaining in the fourth.
4 minutes and 20 seconds and a 21-point lead between Parish and their first state title appearance since 2014. High kick, up and good again. The special teams has been polished for St. Thomas today, and it's back to a 20-point lead. You see that touchdown run again. Fontenot, for the second time today, rumbles his way into the end zone. An updated look at some of the stats over the course of the ball game. 301 yards total for Houston St. Thomas, whereas Parish, 426 total yards.
I'm not going to say I'm surprised, though it was a slow start. This Parish squad knows how to get it done, and they have been impressive this season tonight, leaving no doubt. Though I will be honest, give props to St. Thomas. This is the most points that Parish has given up in over 5 weeks.
Wow. We knew that St. Thomas had some firepower offensively, but they have had a couple mistakes, really shot themselves in the foot a couple of opportunities over the course of the ball game, and because of that, Parish has taken advantage.
Parish has not given up more than 20 points since September 5th when they beat Trinity Christian Cedar Hill 33-27 in overtime. So give a lot of credit to this squad out of Houston and St. Thomas.
Oh, and an onside kick is recovered. Flag flies in late, but I think that's a clean recovery for St. Thomas. Matthew Robinson, the senior, the gunner on the near sideline, comes flying in and reels it in past 10 yards. This should be Houston St. Thomas football.
Yeah, it was a clean look. Not quite sure where the penalty came in. Didn't see a lot of adverse reactions on the coverage team or on the returners. No late hits, no. I'm honestly, I'm speechless. I'm not quite sure.
The kicking team, illegal formation. The kicking team, penalties decline. Kick catch interference on the kicking team. That penalty is accepted. It's a 15-yard penalty for the spot. Automatic first down.
And I would have to take another look at this to see exactly where the kick-catch interference came from. Parish going to reap the benefits of this, but here's another look to see where that exactly was.
It looked clean to me.
I don't know about that, unless
yeah,
they called it on 21 in the backfield. That is a tough break for St. Thomas. But they will go back on the defensive side, and Preston Stone and the offense take the field again for the Panthers with a chance to run out the clock. 2 timeouts for St. Thomas, 3 for Parish. Stone on the game, 18 of 27, 235 yards and 2 touchdowns.
This kid is going to be impressive when he gets to the next level. Again, 46 offers for Division I. Has yet to declare where he'd like to go. Still has plenty of time.
Hand off to Benson. Blocking up front, but he is taken down almost immediately at the line of scrimmage by Adam DeRoches. Stone doesn't look like he's going to have his fifth 300-yard game of the season. Has 4 heading into the day. Benson has had a nice day as well. 8 carries, up over 100 yards. And, of course, the 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground and 1 in the air. The one receiving touchdown that Benson had came in the first quarter in the back of the end zone on a back shoulder fade where he was in the right spot at the right time. 3 receivers, 2 in the backfield with Stone. They give it again to Benson. Lost his first man, but he stacked up immediately at the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1 actually on the play. Cooper Thomas comes flying in and makes the stop.
Benson doing a good job just managing the clock right now as we near closer to the 3-minute mark, but a 20-point game. This is all but over. Parish now just trying to let the clock roll.
Underneath on the play clock. Stone rips the handoff out on the read option, has it himself. Past the first down marker inside the 25. McCurry comes in to make the tackle, but another great carry from Stone on the far side. And it's another first down keeper for the QB.
Absolutely demoralizing to see. I understand that he's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country, but you haven't seen a lot on film of design runs of Stone keeping it. See it a little bit more now tonight. Good job by this coaching staff throwing in something late. Get a couple option looks, a couple pass run options. Doing a great job tonight keeping that defense on their toes. Stone having one of his best rushing nights of the season.
Talked about the elusiveness and then the arm that he has. It's a rare combination as Lynch takes the carry. Flag flies in late. Stone on the ground today. 11 carries, 64 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So 4 total touchdowns on the year.
10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Jackson Harris going to get called for the holding penalty that time. Backing him up after the decent carry by Karn Lynch.
So the holding penalty all the way back inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And 28 is really where they spot it. Clock continues to run even after the penalty. And Parish continues to just run clock and continue to work their way toward what will be their first title appearance since 2014. Handoff again to Lynch. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. And there's a lot of individuals that, of course, have led to this moment for Parish Episcopal. You think about all the past players who never made it to a state championship game. You think about those who were seniors last year and helped build up the program and left it better than when they found it. And then even the coaching staffs involved, those who have come and gone for Parish Episcopal. It's been a long time coming for one of the state's top programs at the TAPS level to get back to a state title game and have a chance to win a TAPS championship for the 3rd time in program history. They won one in 2010, another one in 2014 and 2019. Their hopes are still quite alive and well. Lynch again bounces off a tackler, goes past the first down marker, inside the 15 to the 12. And he's spun down for another first down carry. Cameron McCurry on the stop.
You mentioned talking about the past players for Parish as we're under a minute to go. I don't think enough praise can be thrown on Coach Daniel Novikov. Losing almost your entire receiving core from last season, had a sophomore quarterback in Preston Stone, bring him back for his junior year, having tons of offers going his way. His own brother graduates, goes to SMU. Just a great job and just shows the amount of talent that this team has. In fact, the smallest Division I school in the state of Texas. And look at them as they're in victory formation going to the state championship.
The knee is taken, And that will do it. The Parish Episcopal Panthers are going to their first state title game since 2014. The quest for their third state championship in program history is still alive. 41-21, an emphatic 20-point win for the Panthers as the clock officially hits 0. They take the state semifinal from the Ford Center here in Frisco.
Oh my goodness, again, just keep it rolling this season. Again, another 40-point outing. Though defense gave up a little bit more points than they would have liked as this one goes 41-21. St. Thomas having an incredible season. They make a long run. You talked about Coach McGuire all game long, what he's been able to do to build this program into one of the best in the state. Takes it from a 3-win team now in the state semifinals. Unfortunately, they fall here to a juggernaut in the number 1 seed in Parish. But look for the Panthers next week against John Paul II in the state championship.
A great crowd, an emphatic faithful for the Panthers over the course of the entire ball game. It was a struggle early, but guys like Benson, guys like Stone, the defense and Parish all the way through, really standing strong whenever they need to in order to come out with a victory. St. Thomas continued to fight back. However, there was just too much from that Parish offense over the course of the game. Looking at some of the final stats as we await an interview with Coach Novikov. Parish finishes the ball game 464 yards on offense, 229 of those coming on the ground. You had a 100-yard rusher in Christian Benson. Preston Stone had 80 yards himself on 12 carries. Each of those two on the ground had a combined 4 touchdowns.
Now, Preston Stone was doing just about everything himself tonight. A great job by the junior whose legacy continues to build. As we saw him have an impressive sophomore year, gets this team to the state semifinals, losing to the eventual state champions, now getting his team one step further as they will make the trek south next week to see if they can cap it off with another trophy. But again, this junior is just adding to what is already an impressive showing here at Parish, as he is not done. And keep in mind, he's got 1 more year left.
Yeah, that's such an impressive feat. Whatever Stone has kind of come up against, every obstacle this year, whether it be at Trinity Christian Cedar Hill earlier in the year on ESPN2, whether it be John Paul II, a squad that they're going to face in the state title game next week, they have continuously put up massive numbers, and he has had 4 300-yard games this season. This one, not a 300-yard game, but he did everything he needed to in order to, one, lead his team to victory, but really he just takes care of the football, Jack.
This game shows just as much poise, even though he didn't have that 300-yard outing as you talked about, but what he was able to do. You struggle in the first half, you take it into halftime, it shows his leadership. Yes, it's good coaching, but to have the mindset as a junior quarterback, you know you didn't have a strong start in the first half. Come out in the second, you know what's on the line. You know you've got a shot to go into the state finals, take advantage of it. Had a strong second half, ended up dropping another 20 points. Just a very, very impressive showing by the young man.
Coach Novikov having a speech with his team as he continues to bask in what is his first title game appearance, joining the Parish program in 2016. Of course, kind of a rough start to his tenure with the Panthers. However, each year it seems like he has grown into more and more of a state title contender. And then this year, you couldn't even tab them as contenders. You would tab them as favorites. And that is absolutely the case as they are going to a state title game.
Came into this one, the only thing that was in doubt coming into the playoffs was what seed they were going to get. Of course, Nolan Catholic was undefeated. They had a good argument to be the number 1 seed, but the resume speaks for itself. Coming out of a very tough district, of course, we talk about John Paul II now going to face them in the state championship. Prestonwood, another only 3-loss team. Bishop Dunn and Bishop Lynch, both teams in the state championship last year. It seemed like every time they won a game against a district foe, the next team they played bumped up into the top 5 in the state. So an impressive resume being put together by this squad as we see them come out and get another big win tonight.
Another impressive win. Coach Novikov taking some pictures with his family. He'll join Mallory Hartley here in just a couple of moments. There you see him in the middle of your screen, and he's a pretty sought-after man at this point. Going to a state championship game for the first time in his career, and Mallory doing her best to kind of weave through some of the crowd. But you talk about it, and you mentioned it earlier, offense has been the key, but the defense has really stood strong. And today they hold St. Thomas and that entire Eagles offense to 302 yards, and really a lot of that came late in that first half. So now Mallory Hartley joined by Coach Novikov. Mallory.
Thanks, Kyle. Coach, this is your first trip to the state championship as a head coach of this Panther team. What's that feeling like?
Feels outstanding, but we got more work to do. So, you kind of enjoy it for a second and then realize got another game to prepare for on a short week.
Right, and speaking of that, they're a very familiar opponent to you guys going into next week. So what's your mentality?
Oh, well, we know they're a good football team. Last time we kind of jumped on them early, but we expect it to be a dogfight. It's for the state championship. So we know them, they know us, and we'll go out there and see what happens.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations. Kyle.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mallory, and a no-nonsense type of answer. No doubt about it, and that's kind of what we expect from Coach Novikov. Hey, you're going to your first state title game, Coach. He said, we got more work to do.
That's the number one thing you want to hear from a coach, never settling for good enough. They're going to go into this state championship game. Yes, they're going to have plenty of tape on this John Paul II squad, but it's going to be a tough one. It doesn't matter if you've played the team and beat them by 100. This is the state championship on the line. Everyone's going to come in ready to fight as hard as they can. It's going to be a great matchup down in Waco.
Over 460 yards of total offense for Parish today. They win it emphatically over St. Thomas and the Eagles. For everybody involved in this Game On Sports broadcast, for Mallory Hartley down on the sideline, for my partner Jackson Donovan, I'm Kyle Yeomans giving you the final score one more time here from the Ford Center at the Star. 41-21, Parish on to their first state title game since 2014. So long, everybody. Over the top of the entire defense, it's caught! 99 yards, Parish!
Stone will keep it himself, and he is in for the score.
Oh!
Intercepted